Go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this special edition of the Behind the Glass Sports Podcast. As you can see, we're not necessarily doing a podcast today, but it is day one of the Denver Nuggets season against the Miami Heat. And we're going to not necessarily stream the game, but we're going to react to the game because we don't want the YouTube narcs to come after us. So I know, I see my camera and it looks like I'm on the children's seat, like I'm in a high chair. you wanna boost me up a little bit there? I can't even. Oh my god! I was looking at it. I was like, well, no, there we go. There we go. Now we're good. Well, yeah, we're off to a rousing start today. Hopefully, the Nuggets start off better than we do today. For those who don't know, the Denver Nuggets are playing the Miami Heat, as I just mentioned. They're going to be down a few starters today, three in particular: Jamal Murray, no Gary Harris, and Will Barton. I saw Mike Singer of the Denver Post say this was more precautionary reasons more than anything. So I'm sure if this was, the start of a series, these guys would be out there, or at least maybe two of them. But, the Nuggets are taking a long-term view. They don't necessarily want to get guys obliterated within the first, regular season seeding game. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go today. So if you guys want to tune in along with us, I believe the game's on ESPN today, right?
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
it's on ESPN. Okay.
I'm watching it. So, yeah, we're watching it on ESPN today. Obviously, it's on altitude, but yeah, about that. So,
Yeah. You don't have if you don't have direct TV, you just pretty much can't watch altitude unless you get really creative. Wink, wink.
yeah, unfortunately, I can't
So
comment. So, anyways, moving on. Yeah. So Jamal is out.
yeah. Hold on, we have a Comcast rep here. Everybody, let's grill Brandon in the chat.
So obviously Jamal is out, Gary's out, Will is out. I think that's it, right? So Monte is
Yeah.
available.
Mhm.
PJ
PJ
Dozier is
Dozier.
available. How much do you think Bol will play today with three starters out?
Well, I mean, MPJ is gonna start, so
Like,
that's good.
if you have a
But
10 man rotation, who are you putting? If you're Malone and you're sticking to 10 guys,
yeah,
obviously you can play more. He's not limited. As we're getting ready here, 10 guys. Who are you playing?
uh,
Actually,
I
real
would,
quick, starting lineups. Okay, well for the Heat, it's Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, and Bam Adebayo.
mhm.
And then for the Nuggets, I'm guessing it's
Should
gonna be
be
Monte.
Monte, Torrey, Nicola,
Do you start
Paul,
Grant at the three,
and
or do you?
MPJ. So that's
Oh,
gonna
it
be
is
the
MPJ. Okay,
yep. Mhm.
cool. All right.
So with that lineup, I mean, Bull should get, 10 to 15 minutes, I would think today. I mean, what are you? Look at that glass. That is a behemoth. Or at least it looks huge on
Is it really
the
big?
camera. It looks very large.
It's as
Brandon's
big as
getting started early today,
it's
ladies
as
and
big as
gentlemen.
my it's as big as my face.
No, I think he would get 10 to 15 today, right? Because I mean, off the bench you have Jeremy, Mason, maybe PJ Dozier get some time, maybe Troy Daniels get some time. Am I missing anybody? other than those guys, I mean, Bol. I mean, Bol's going to play over Vonleh and Bates Diop, I would think, and who's the?
Did Jimmy Butler forget his jersey or something? What the heck
I think
is
he
going
just
on?
switched jerseys. Who am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I don't know, but I think Bol gets 10 to 15 today. That
Okay.
sounds reasonable, don't you
Yeah,
think?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't get 10. I think I'm gonna say more like 6 minutes,
Okay.
5 to 7, anywhere between there. But I mean, again, with 3 starters out, I guess it's very possible he could get more than that, 10 to 15. As now, oh, there you go. I was like, where's
Where's
my
Miami
audio?
one tip?
All right, right away. Open 3 for Duncan. That's not good.
So with these, with this lineup, I mean, I would think defensively this should be a solid unit. You know, with some length with Torrey and MPJ.
Right. Yeah, Monte's a good defender. And PJ travels right away. That's something that's been happening. I don't know how many games you've been watching, but that's happening a lot
Yeah, they're
throughout the
calling
league.
that little pickup step.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot to Bol in the
Right.
in
Yeah.
the
In like his first
scrimmage
scrimmage, he
game.
had 3 of those as none just blows by Torrey. That's something that Torrey. He's a solid defender, but against quicker guys, he gets torched. That's where you miss Gary. Gary can at least stick with some of the quicker guards.
Well, not a lot of movement early on, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. But I don't know why they don't every game start off with that though.
Right. At
Get
least
it into
Jokic put up a
Jokic.
shot.
You know, they get him at the top and they set a down screen for him so he can get to the block. I mean, that should be the opening play every game, I would think.
Oh, I
You know,
see.
get him
So
an easy bucket.
Jimmy Butler took the floor with no name on the back of his jersey, which apparently he is what he said he was gonna do, but the
Right.
referees made him change his jersey
Interesting.
so that he has a name back there.
Yeah, his jersey is on the back is way different than everybody else. Everybody else is on the top, and his lettering
Oh,
is
yeah.
on the bottom. It's kind of
I
funky
actually
looking.
like that better. I like the lettering on the bottom.
Oof.
Bam, nice shot. See, if he can, the fact that he can hit that mid-range jumper. In our last podcast, we were talking about best duos, and I put them ahead of Gobert and Mitchell. I put Bam and Butler ahead, and really because Bam has more of an offensive game, more so than Gobert, as MPJ misses a layup.
Yeah, a lot of early missed opportunities. Nikola misses a free throw. How are we not calling a jump ball here? I mean, I guess. Okay,
As expected, pretty sloppy.
knock that down.
So that's 3 shots for Porter. He's 0 for 3. So that's for them to win tonight's game or I guess today's game, without Jamal, they're gonna need Porter to be really good offensively.
Oh, goodness
there you go.
gracious.
It's very sloppy though, especially for the Heat. Have the Heat gotten in any scrimmage games?
Right. I wonder how long it's going to take Nikola to get his touchback because it seems like in these scrimmages he really hasn't had it. He usually those floaters he's really good on, and
nice
good
block though.
there. But it seems like he's just not all there yet, and it might take some time. I don't like this. Oh boy.
You know what
All
though?
right.
Torrey has improved with his 3-point shooting. In that third scrimmage game, late in that fourth, or actually, I think he started like
Leading
5
up
for
to the
5.
fourth.
Yeah, leading up to the
Yeah.
fourth. That's when he went in the fourth. He went cold. Nice move by Butler. But yeah, he started 5 for 5 in that third scrimmage. So if he can knock, and I think most of them were from the corner though, but if he can knock down those threes, they could use them in the playoffs. But when it comes to playoff time, I just feel like he's gonna be more of a liability offensively. Is his defense if you're fully healthy, is his defense really worth not having any offense out there for him, especially at the wing?
Yeah. That's going to be one of the issues for Malone that he's going to have to work on and figure out.
Because it's going to come down to, do you want MPJ in his position or do you want Torrey? Really, do you want the offense with some of that length, or do you want all defense and maybe a couple threes?
I guess it just depends on what's your outlook. Are you going for the short term or the long term? I mean, for me, I think I'd prefer long term development just because I want MPJ to develop into that person. I want him to get those minutes.
Right.
9-6 early on, Miami up. Denver really sloppy on the offensive end.
Yeah.
And Paul clangs a three. I mean, what are they? They're probably like 2 of 7 right now.
Yeah, they're
from the
just
field.
they're taking all threes right now. Not a lot of movement. Couple turnovers. Monte had the ball underneath the basket at one point. Bad turnover. Now none with mismatch there. Yeah. I mean, they're just, some protection at the rim would actually be kind of nice weak side if Bobo was in.
I mean, I think Jokic played that well. It's just
Yeah,
gotta
I
give
mean, you
credit
just
to
need
Dunn on
you
that.
just need more help. And Paul Millsap's not athletic enough to where he can get a block weak side. Torrey's looking good though. I like Torrey. He's definitely the most active.
Yeah. I mean, he's there. He doesn't leave his feet shuffling. It's just that little hesitation to get by him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there. He just
You
maybe
want a
if you
little bit
lost
more help.
10 more pounds, you might be able to block that. 11-6 early on, 8 minutes to go in the first here.
A moving
we get
screen
here?
on Millsap.
I'm blaming the jerseys. These are my least favorite jerseys of the Nuggets new uniforms.
Yeah, I don't
This
like these.
Mile High City. It's a different blue. With it just makes me angry. I don't know why they did. Honestly, I would have preferred that they would have went back to the '90s Denver Nuggets uniforms with that color scheme. I really like those and just kind of modernize those ones.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
that's what I
don't
was
mind
hoping
those.
originally. Oof.
Oh my god,
Yeah, that guy can hit threes.
was that Duncan?
Yeah. Well, quick timeout. Shocker for Malone.
I mean, Torrey was there. That was good defense. It's just
Yeah, I mean, I think with this, we both predicted a Nuggets win on Friday. Or was that really yesterday that we did the podcast?
yeah.
Oh wow.
We also didn't foresee though 3 starters being out.
Right,
Oh.
and that's where it's I mean, especially when you're missing Jamal. I think that's the big one. If Gary and Will were just out, I wouldn't be as concerned. But with Jamal out and the way he played in that third scrimmage, and now just kind of seeing how they're playing right now, they don't have any offense right now. So that's something that they're really missing. Is just look, if Porter would have hit maybe 2 of those first 3 shots, I think things would be a little bit more okay. But Porter's gonna have to step up. He's gonna have to get 20 plus today for them to win.
It was interesting too because on the podcast yesterday we talked about or it might have been Tuesday's podcast of if the Nuggets are at a point in the playoffs where they're struggling, they're getting blown out, Malone shouldn't hesitate to go to a lineup of Troy Daniels, Bol, and MPJ. Those are the 3 guys that could spark you. Boom. We had Mike Singer on Stokely and Zach yesterday, and he said the exact same thing. It was almost like he listened to the podcast. Mike, are you listening to the podcast? If so, thank you. But yeah, it was the same thing. If there's a point, because the question was, how much time can we expect Bol to see in the playoffs? And he was just like, listen, if there's a point in any game where you're down 15 or you're getting smoked and you need a run, why not put in Bol? Why not put in MPJ and Troy Daniels? And we're kind of seeing it right here. Obviously, it's just the first quarter, and they're only down, I think, 8 at this point. But the Nuggets have a tendency to get into these little ruts on offense where they look good and then they just fall flat. Right now, they've just fallen flat to start. I'm not going to put a lot of stock into this because, again, this is their first game. They don't have all the starters together. And even when they do get all the starters together, I still expect there to be just a period of getting back into a rhythm of everything. So at the end of the day, we can't overreact to this, but I do think Malone should be. I wonder if he has that in the back of his mind that, this is my, screw it lineup. Let's throw this thing out there and see if we can get a few blocks and a few threes in. That's what it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard when even if Will and Gary are out, we've seen them be able to at least be effective offensively, right? The big thing is Jamal. If you don't have Jamal, you're gonna need. And I like Monte, I do, but offensively he's limited, right?
Yeah.
He's not as aggressive offensively. He is more of that natural point guard. And when you already have Jokic, it's just and look, we talked about that before. Like, would we like to see them go out and get a natural point guard and put Jamal at the 2? For me, I don't necessarily like that because Jokic is your point guard. You don't need 2 of those guys out there at the same time, and that also limits you offensively. So, for me, I think offensively, if honestly, I think Troy Daniels might get more playing time today than Bol Bol. I wouldn't be shocked because that having that instant offense with Troy Daniels is really nice. And since PJ Dozier just got back, he wasn't really a rotation guy. Troy Daniels has been playing more. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Troy Daniels off the bench instead of PJ Dozier. But I love Dozier. I think he gives you a little bit more than Monte can.
Quick bucket by Jokic out of the timeout, and then you get a quick turnover, so that's good there. Looks like we're going to have a holding foul on.
And again,
none.
that play right there, that's where Monte is great at, right? Getting that pick and then getting that mid-range jumper. But, I mean, Malone has said it plenty of times. What are they trying to get rid of? The mid-range jumper. You want layups and threes. So, to me, he just doesn't really... And I get a lot of people love Monte, and I do too, but I just don't think he really fits in today's game.
Right.
He does have a place, but, with what the Nuggets wanted... Oh, as Porter with a nice block. With what the Nuggets want to do, I just don't think he necessarily fits. My goodness. And that's where
jump ball there?
where Porter, he got a 1 block earlier, and then that where he contested Bam. That's
Right.
where, it's not like he needs to be great on ball defense, but if he can do that consistently, that changes the game because they don't have guys who can just block shots consistently like that unless you put Bol in. And then right when he starts playing well defensively, they take him out.
Tim Conley, their president, has done a remarkable job rebuilding their roster.
14-8. Looking at the stats so far, I mean, leading scorer is Torrey Craig. Don't like that one bit. 5 points for Torrey, 3 for Jokic right now. Everybody else is pretty much over. A lot of fouls early on by this Nuggets defense.
Yeah, and I think the referees too are going to be a little bit tighter. It's going to feel a little bit like, how early on in the season the refs kind of call ticky-tack stuff, and they're a little bit more, I guess, strict. That's what we're probably going to see, at least through these first 8 games. And once we get to the playoffs, they'll start letting them play a little bit more.
Right. And for those tuning in, if there is anybody out there tuning in, we appreciate you guys watching and hanging out with us as we react live. 15-8, your score. Hopefully you guys are watching on ESPN for those who are being beholden by Comcast. I'm sorry. Brandon is not allowed to comment. But slander him in the comments section. Maybe he can send a letter.
Whoa.
16-8, 5.5 or so to go here in the first quarter. Jeremy Grant, Paul Millsap, Jokic, Monte, and Torrey on the floor.
That was a push-off that they've been calling a lot, and they didn't call it on Paul there.
That's that old man game from Paul right there.
Oof. Bam is good. Like, he can handle the ball and get to the rim, beat you off the dribble.
How tall is Bam? Like 6'8", 6'9"?
I don't know.
He looks around that range. I'm trying to think of like who he, because like I said, I haven't watched much of Bam. I know that there's a lot of love for him. Contested shot there from Grant.
He's a good passer too. I mean, he's averaging 5 assists a game, which I believe that might be the second highest among centers.
Nuggets must be shooting awful right now. What are we at? Whopping 33%, fellas, from the field. 4 of 13, 1 of 6 from 3. Denver Nuggets basketball is back, baby. Yes. We haven't even seen Mason Plumlee yet. Love it. And on the other hand, the Heat are shooting 70% from the field and 50% from 3. So
Yeah.
that'll obviously, hopefully, balance out as we.
Yeah, and I think what's really showing too is the Nuggets obviously haven't played very much. I mean, this is really the first time Monte has gotten action, right?
Yeah.
This is only the second game for Porter. Paul Millsap has played all the scrimmage games. Jokic has played. Grant has played.
Mm-hmm.
Torrey has played one, I think. Right?
I think he played the last two.
Last two. So, I mean, the Nuggets, again, they're one of the very few teams who haven't gotten their full. I mean, they're all there now, but they've been one of the few teams who've kind of got hit hard by guys coming in late. So, I mean, again, that's something to expect. I don't think you'll really start to see this team start to figure things out until the playoffs, unfortunately, which is a bit scary because, if they do get a matchup like Dallas, that's going to hurt them a lot. And I don't know if you watched that game between Houston and Dallas, but dear Lord, there was zero defense in that game.
I did watch that game. And I watched the game, a little bit of the game before it. CJ McCollum was balling out. You know who didn't show up last night? Chris Middleton. That's who didn't show up last night.
He had a fine game.
Did he?
He didn't shoot the ball great. You put that 2K.
That's what he's known for, is shooting the ball. That's what he always shoots like. Every time I watch Chris Middleton, that's the performance he has.
Well, then don't watch him.
Every time.
You jinx him.
No, he's not bad. He's not consistent. What did he shoot last night? I'm gonna look it up. At one point, he was like 5 of 15, and he was like 1 of 7 from 3. So let's see. Last night he finished with 6 of 20 and 2 of 9 from 3. You know what those stats are reminiscent of? That's like when you're an 85 superstar in 2K and you have no badges.
He also had
just chucking it up.
Look, he also had 8 assists and 5 rebounds, and a steal. So like,
glad he's impacting the game in any other way because he's not doing it by what he's known for. That's for darn sure.
Well, look, hey, first game back. He
needs to pick it up. If that team's gonna have a chance against the Clippers, because that's who's coming out of the West, he needs to pick it up. Because Paul George putting down 20. I hope
you're really doubting LeBron, aren't you?
It's not that I'm doubting LeBron. I'm doubting the rest of his team. I really now hope that we see the Bucks and Clippers play in the finals.
Do people forget
that way
what teams
Paul George can win MVP and Middleton can win LMVP?
Do people really forget what teams LeBron has carried to the NBA Finals? Granted, it was the East. I get that, but he also played some tough teams in the East a few times. So
don't avoid the subject here. don't avoid it. That would be your worst nightmare.
Troy Daniels is in the game.
And Bucks matched up in the playoffs, and you know it. Jokic, Plumlee, oh god. Oh, they're playing Plumlee and Jokic together. Interesting.
Yeah, I actually like that. But Troy Daniels is in the game with Monte.
I don't know how much I love Jeremy Grant coming off of screens and shooting. I don't know if that's much of his game.
Yeah, they're playing him at the 3, and if you have to, that's fine, but I don't know. I like him more at the 4. I'm glad that they started MPJ at the 3 instead of Grant. I didn't think that Malone was going to do that. That's what Grant needs to do. There's
look at Iguodala. Goodness, he's looking kind of old these days, isn't he?
One of my least favorite players in the league.
I forgot he was on that team. God, this Miami team is loaded with defensive players. Yeah. Crowder, Butler, Iguodala, they can D you up.
And they got shooters. They got Duncan. They got Tyler Hero. Dragic can shoot. So Olynyk can shoot. So they're a solid team. I like them.
Man,
I just don't
Dragic
think.
he was so good coming from Phoenix. And
Yeah.
then he just kind of tailed off.
Well, I mean, I think he benefited from because he was with D'Antoni, right? I think he benefited from that.
He was at the tail end of that dominant Suns run.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Did he play with Amari? He might have played with Amari.
I don't know. Amari left the same year LeBron did, so. And Grant needs to hit those, but that's where he should be getting those catch and shoot threes instead of coming off screens.
Right.
Just sit in the corner. This is so sloppy.
Yeah.
I do like
shooting
that
is
Troy
not very
Daniels is
good.
in the game though, because it gives you a little bit more offense out there. You know, especially when you have Plumlee and Monte in there.
For those who don't know, Plumlee, Grant Morris, Jokic, and Troy Daniels on the floor right now for the Nuggets. Nice little pump fake. There's that silver quick step. Get off me, Dragic. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's what losing 376 pounds does for you.
He looks the same to me. He looks the same as he
He looks
did.
a little slimmer. Yeah, he looks a little slimmer. He looks the same as when the season stopped.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when the season started, oh boy. But I mean, since the season, like back in March, he looks the same, and that's why they were all like kind of trying to calm everyone down when that picture came out.
I mean, when he was 453 pounds.
No, when he was over in Serbia, right?
Oh,
Still,
yeah.
When
When he
and
was, like,
everyone's
15
freaking out
pounds?
that everyone thought he lost like 50 pounds since March. I mean, maybe he's lost a little bit, but not that much. Like maybe like 10.
We got a Dozier sighting on the court.
Oh yeah, I really like Dozier. I think when it comes down to it, they'll probably let Monte go because Monte's gonna get paid by someone, and I'm sure they're definitely okay with having PJ Dozier being the next guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean
think so, too.
his length at 6'5", he can shoot. He runs that pick and roll just as well as Monte does. He's really good.
Just like that, the Nuggets tie things up after being
His
down
defense is good
18-10.
too.
The defense of this unit right now, as I say that, and Iguodala hits the three.
Iguodala hits the three.
Of course. But no, I mean,
Keep
the
that
rotations have been solid.
Yeah.
With
Shoot
this,
that.
With this unit. Jokic clangs a three.
Oh.
Oh, they're calling a foul on that? God. There's a lot of length. This Nuggets team, it's not Lakers long, but there's a lot of length on this team.
Yeah.
With Jokic, Plumlee, I mean, Torrey's like 6'8".
And PJ, Jeremy
6'9".
Grant.
I mean, they might be the second longest team other than the Lakers.
Well, and look, that was a big thing that they wanted to improve going into the season because last year they did not have that, and that hurt them against San Antonio and against Portland. So, when you enter the offseason, you go ahead and get Jeremy Grant, you trade for him, you officially sign PJ Dozier, which I think helps. And MPJ is coming in, and then you draft Bol. So there's obvious you could tell that they were like, okay, we need to bring in some length here, help this team out. Always has to go reverse.
He just loves doing that, and it just angers me to my core. He didn't do that so much this season,
No,
but last season,
it was bad.
oh my God. Everything had to be a reverse dunk or layup. Oh,
That
goodness.
was a flop. Just
Sweet
threw an
Jesus.
elbow right at Troy Daniels' head.
Yeah, I don't know if Troy's, got that much strength to throw down Jimmy Butler like that, but
There was one last night that I
Oh.
saw. It was absolutely hilarious. I don't remember who it was, but he hit the ground hard, and he was being guarded by like some 6'4" dude. And I was just like, that's
Which game
not.
was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the Boston Milwaukee game. I don't remember who it was that flopped though. Someone from Boston. But it was pretty funny. I was like, what just happened? It was one of
And
those
Jason
where
Tatum, he
he
really
should-
struggled last night too.
Yeah, whoever that was that had flopped last night will definitely be getting a fine. It was pretty bad. The refs bid on it though, so shows you the refs are back in full
Oh,
force.
one swing, Jeremy.
Yeah, he needed to swing that to MPJ.
Oh, I mean, he's going to the foul line, so I'll take it. But I mean, if he swings that, the ball movement has
Good
been
pass
good.
though. Yeah, that's one thing though with Plumlee, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do with Plumlee because he's up. His contract is up after this season, but he fits this team well. As much as annoying as he is offensively and bringing up the ball and his shooting, whatever.
Yeah.
He does fit the offense. He's a good passer. Defensively, he's solid. I think he's a perfect backup to Jokic. But again, I mean, I feel like you can always find someone that's just as good as Plumlee.
Yeah, he does all the dirty things that are necessary for
Mm-hmm.
a contending or championship team that you want. As much as I slander his name, he does have an impact on this team. It's only when he does those unnecessary reverses and when he brings the ball up the court. Like, that's when I'm just like, okay, here we go. Nothing good comes from this ever.
Look at all the shooters that Miami has on the floor right now. Holy moly. Yeah, Duncan, Tyler Hero. Or no, Duncan's not out there. Olynyk, Hero, Dragic.
I mean, Miami's hitting some tough shots early.
Yeah.
I don't know if those continue to fall as this game goes. But
Oh, another moving screen. And the refs are going to be very very strict with the calls.
tough shot.
Yeah.
Kind of wish they would have shown a replay on that because sometimes even though there's an illegal screen called, it's not always on the screener. Sometimes the ball handler is moving too fast and they don't give it enough time to set up. That's too quick.
They're
on PJ
they're
right there.
really picking on PJ right now. And maybe just he's slow out there. Obviously his first game back, so
Time to get bowling.
again, I don't think he's going to play that much. He might get a couple minutes, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play at all. Which
Goodness,
shows
we're already in
you
the bonus?
which shows you how low he is on the depth chart. That I get it's exciting and I'm sure everyone wants to see him in the playoffs especially, but this team has a lot of talent. And, I think people forget, like, they have PJ Dozier. They have Troy Daniels, who's obviously ahead of Bol Bol in the lineup. Monte. This team is very, very deep. And when it comes down to playoffs, you're going to, shorten the rotation to where Troy Daniels won't play this much. PJ Dozier probably won't play at all. So the fact that they're missing 3 starters and he hasn't seen the court yet, that shows a lot. Tells you a lot. That's
Oh,
not
God.
the pass that you want to make, Porter.
This is never where I want the ball with 5 seconds left. and
Oh,
he
they
makes it.
count. Did they count that? They counted
Yeah.
that. Wow. Okay.
And that's a lefty floater. But that's never where I want the ball to be with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Right.
When he goes that's a vacuum. It's kind of like in Longest Yard when Brucey gets in the game for Adam Sandler at quarterback, and he's like, all right, it's Brucey's time, baby. It's Brucey's time to shine. Like, no, we don't need Mason Plumlee to do faux Kobe moves and chuck up a hook shot that's going to clang out.
He's 2
He
for
has the
2,
most
though.
line drive shot ever, too. It's just, there's no arc to Plumlee's shot. Look at this thing. Watch. I'm telling you. It's a straight line. 0. That's got a little
He's
lift to
getting
it.
better. He's had 4 months to practice.
Gracious.
Monte and PJ are getting blown by. But again, I mean, first game back. Right?
Yeah.
So, but they're definitely going after those two right now.
And that's what we have to remember too. Mainly me. It's the first game back. They haven't been playing for the last 3 months. I can't expect them to be where they were pre All-Star break. So I
Right.
know if I'm feeling that way,
I was
a
gonna
lot of
say
Nuggets
pre
fans
All
are.
Star break, not post All Star.
Oh yeah, no. Post All-Star break was the start of the season. We just reverted back to it.
Right.
So hopefully history repeats itself, and we go back to pre All-Star break Nuggets here soon. 27-25, 6.2 seconds to go. Dragic at the line for the Heat. He's going to net that, so let's see if Denver can get some sort of shot up. They're really kind of bad in these situations, too.
Mm-hmm.
They get fouled.
And they got bailed out there, but Monte can't make that pass. That was not enough time for Plumlee.
Plumlee would have went up and the clock would have sounded.
Yeah. Yeah, they got bailed out there.
Sloppy play, though, first quarter. Definitely the complete opposite of LA, and Houston, Dallas. That's for sure.
I mean, we're behind, so he's only going to make one here. He's going to miss the second one.
Oh, well, that just makes me angry. I don't like that.
I can tell the future. I should have played it off as like, oh, he's going to miss this one.
Yeah, you should bet. I'll bet you right now.
Right. Bet you $10. Bet you crumble cookie. If he makes this, okay.
Oh, yeah, short. He has no legs.
So at the end of the first quarter, the Nuggets shooting 39% from the field. Miami's shooting 53%. Miami's 2 for 6 from 3. Denver's 1 for 8 from 3. So yeah, I mean, both teams with 4 turnovers though. That's one thing I expected both teams to be right around the 20s, and obviously they could still get there, but only 4 turnovers. It's not too bad.
Right.
You're on pace to hit 16. Like that's pretty good. I'm curious. I'm gonna go through all the games last night because both games Thursday night, I think the only team did not hit 20 turnovers was the Lakers. But last night, or yesterday, I should say, let's see. Orlando and Brooklyn both only had 14. Let's see. Portland had 17. Memphis had 13. So maybe I guess it's a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. I thought every team was going to be right around 20. Phoenix and Washington were both at 18. Milwaukee and Boston, let's see, 16 and 15. San Antonio. Some of these teams I'm surprised they're in the bubble, like Sacramento. 18 and 15.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like New Orleans. Why is New Orleans in the bubble? We know why.
Well, they're not that far back from Memphis.
They suck.
Dallas hit 20 turnovers. Houston only had 9. Houston looked good. Defensively, no. But
Harden looked good.
yeah, Harden had 49, 9 and 8. It's ridiculous. Russ had 31, 11 and 8, but Russ was 13 for 30.
Yeah, that's mid-season form, Russ.
Russ took 30 shots. Harden only took 20. Imagine if Harden had taken 30. How many points he would have scored?
Hopefully like 74.
Daniel House Jr. had 20. And then Porzingis. Did you see Porzingis line? I didn't watch the game.
He looked good.
39 and 16, though.
Yeah, which is really scary because we're already scared of the Mavericks, and if they get that Porzingis, I don't want any parts of them.
Well, here's the thing the other thing that terrifies me of them. So Doncic only had 28, 13, and 10 only. But Tim Hardaway had 24. Trey Burke off the bench had 31 and hit 8 threes. So those are the things that this team is full of shooters. So yeah, Dallas scares me, but I mean defensively they might not be that good. Same with Houston. But I mean Houston, most of their points came from Harden and Westbrook. Other than that, House had 20. No one really else. Covington had 13. McLemore had 13. Rivers had 10. Green had 10. Tucker at 7. I think their tallest player was Jeff Green, who's 6'8".
Yeah, either that or Covington.
Covington 6'7". Tucker at power forward was 6'5".
Yeah,
Can
and I mean,
we
he's
get
playing
tall
against
ball
Porzingis.
Nuggets? Can we get tall ball Nuggets for small ball Houston, please?
Goodness gracious, I felt so bad for him playing against Porzingis. PJ Dozier had 3 fouls in 3 minutes. So
Yeah, he.
and Bol Bol's in the game.
Oh, he
Look at
is.
that.
All right.
All right, so we got an MPJ Bol lineup.
MPJ should have
With,
just took that shot. I mean, look how
Troy.
easy that is, though. All you have to do is drive, dump it off to Bol, and everyone's just like, I don't know what to do.
If he just holds the ball with his arm
right.
way
Just
up
hold it
high,
up.
he can just drop it in.
And that's where it's like, how can he not get playing time? But again, who does he get playing time ahead of? I mean, that's really the question. I don't know. I don't know how, unless they break the mold, right? And Malone just says, screw it, we're going 10 deep.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, though, I get Malone's philosophy,
Ooh, nice shot.
but that's a good shot by Monte. I mean, you have 2 unicorns, use them. Like, you just have to use
even
them.
at 19 and 20 years old, it's just, or I guess 20 and 21 now.
I mean, do we want them to get the experience or not?
That guy
know?
can shoot. Why was he open?
Whoever was on that wing crashed down. I think it was Monte crashed down.
I love Tyler Hero. He's gonna be good. Monte just looks slow out there. Again, first game. But
yeah, first game. Got to keep it in mind. It's funny, as I mentioned, Dozier had 3 fouls in 3 minutes. Some guy commented, "That's me in NBA 2K." Just tacking away.
Ooh, that's a tough shot. Don't take that shot. Unless he started the
Looking to
game
find a
3 for
shot.
3, you can take that shot. don't take that shot.
I know Malone is fumigating inside. He's infuriated. He might be fumigating on the inside. That's a little different than being infuriated on the inside, but you know what? His insides might be fumigating as well. Might sneak in there. So 31-30 your score, second quarter. On the court for the Nuggets, Monte, Mason, MPJ, Bull, and Troy Daniels. And for the Heat, you got Hero, Jones, Dragic, Jimmy, and Kelly Olynyk. That's a deep 3.
Oh.
Oh,
One thing that's starting to annoy me, though, not going to lie, is Bol Twitter. It's starting to become Denver Bronco annoying-esque, and I'm starting to get annoyed
People
to the
love the
point where
hype,
it's
man.
like, can Bol just not play so that people can shut up? So, yeah, don't be those people out there listening. The Bol
Yeah,
stuff. It was exciting in the first scrimmage, but
I think it's just more so people are excited for the potential. You know,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but-
what this represents, you know, with a guy like it, and it was the same thing with MPJ last year. You know, he could have stepped on a potato chip on the court, and I would have screamed. I would have ah! You know, it's the same thing with
Yeah.
Bull this year. You know, so people
I
are
mean,
just
look,
excited.
the first game was exciting, the first scrimmage. But at this point, I guess I'm not just, I don't know. Maybe I guess I'm just thinking more when it comes down to the playoffs, I just know he's not going to play. Jokic just gave up the ball to Plumlee to bring up.
that makes me fumigate on the inside. So don't like that one bit.
And there's Troy Daniels. He is going to win the Nuggets a few games this season. He's
hope
going to
so.
come in and he's going to hit a couple threes where it gets them going again. You know, if they struggle coming out of the gate or maybe struggle coming out at halftime and he comes in and hits a couple threes, he's going to change. And they didn't have anyone like that last year. They really didn't.
No.
Him and MPJ off the bench can really change some things for them.
Foul.
Jokic got a little build out there. He was a little wild.
This lineup right now
I like
is
it.
super interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 2 bigs who can pass the ball, and then you have 2 guys that can create their own shot, shoot, and then you have Troy Daniels who can shoot. this is an interesting lineup.
Hmm.
Like, it's not Hampton 5-esque, but it may be like, the Marriott, like a nice Marriott. Like this might be an interesting lineup. Because how do you play this lineup? You can't really if you,
You
double
got
off
4
of
7.
someone-
By the way, you got 4 essentially 7-footers out there.
Yeah. This is an interesting lineup.
3 7-footers with the guy who's 6'10", a 7'2" wingspan who can shoot the 3. Like, and then Troy Daniels. So this is interesting. I mean, again, 3 guards are out. That's a good shot. There you go, MPJ. I think that's his first bucket.
That's
See-
one of those where I'm like, no. Okay.
Right. Those are the things that that gets me more excited than Bol Bol hitting a 4-foot jumper.
Brandon's already done a 180 on Bull. He already wants Bull traded. He just can't stand Bull anymore. People are excited, and Brandon's like, I hate that guy.
I just hate and look, good for everyone that's excited about Bol Bol, and I get it, but
Let us live.
Look, he's standing in the wrong spot at the free throw line.
That is true.
Like,
I don't.
come on, guys.
Why is there so much space?
What is he doing?
Where is
He's
he
on
standing?
the other side of the line. That's got to be on Shaq. Then can someone please send that to Shaq?
I've never seen anyone stand there.
No,
before.
I've never. Is that allowed? Why weren't the refs like, hey,
Yeah,
dude,
apparently- I mean, I
move over?
guess. I mean,
What are you
he's not-
doing?
He's not gonna do anything.
Look, he's still 20 years old. Oh, there you go. See, he's got to hit those. Again, MPJ on the offensive board, though.
Where's the foul?
Did they call a foul on? He was up in the air. He didn't touch anyone.
I don't. There's been a lot of whistles in this game.
Yeah.
Like, goodness gracious, can we just get like 3 minutes where there's no fouls called, please?
Here's the thing, though. You got 3 7-footers out there, and MPJ is the one going on to get offensive rebounds. I love that. His ability to get offensive rebounds, and like all those guys do, but his motor is just it's awesome. I mean, he's in his first year. He's fighting for rotation spots. Will that continue? 4 or 5 years down the line? Maybe not, but you like it now, and they could really use that.
And Malone destroys our fun. Never let me bask in the enjoyment. Now we get,
Millsap and
Jeremy
Grant.
and Paul
Well, here's the thing: you take out MPJ and Plumlee, and here comes a 6'9" Jeremy Grant, who has a lot of length, and then your power forward and Paul Millsap. So,
I mean, what is everybody's foul situation right now? Everybody has to have at least 2 by now.
Yeah,
Jokic has 2,
at this point,
Monte
Bol Bol might
has-
get 30 minutes.
has 3. Dozier has 3. Look at those arms.
No, Miami should not get a single offensive rebound with this lineup. Not even close. Pass it out, Bol Bol. One thing with Grant, once he gets in the paint, he's shooting. He's not kicking out
His
for an open
blinders on.
3. You should not be giving up an offensive rebound with this lineup. Oh, nice hands with Jokic.
Gracious. With the fouls and turnovers in this game might end like 70-70.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, very sloppy.
Not our best showing, everybody. But the Heat aren't doing it, I mean, after starting 50% from the field and 70 from 3, the Heat have now gone to 40% from the field and 27 from 3. So,
By the way, Malone likes the tall ball lineup.
see that? Look how fat Jokic is right there. Goodness gracious. They couldn't update my man's picture? Golly. It's like my 6th grade picture. Use my high school one. Look at that length. Those arms. His fingers touch his shin. How is that normal?
His ability to affect shots, though, defensively, it's so hard not to play him. He stepped out of bounds. his legs are a
You
little
have
too
a
long.
size 47 shoe. I mean,
Or is that a travel? What are they
might have
called?
been travel.
Yeah, he doesn't believe he's stepped out.
No, they call him out of bounds.
Negative step, though, that most guys take in the corner leaves them perilously close to
See,
almost every catch.
Can't ball
Bull
watch.
Bull, get over, help. Those are things like you've got to, and Paul Millsap's also got to be quicker though to help too.
Well, I think Bull was on the wing on that one, so I
But
mean, he really didn't.
Bull, well, yeah, but when you're talking about his length and size, he can get over there in 2 steps.
I mean, he's at the elbow though.
No, he was like mid paint area.
He's at
Can I
the elbow.
rewind? No,
don't know,
I don't think I
can
can
you?
rewind right now.
Yeah, you can screw it up. Pause.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
We're just
try.
sitting here.
Right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Looks like there might be one watching us. Let's see how your YouTube open.
No, I'm not
Uh,
watching.
But thanks for rocking with us. You one lucky dog, you. Why don't you get in the chat? Huh? Or
We-
or lucky girl too. I mean, why don't you say hi in the chat?
We've had 11 total playbacks, which I guess 9 because I clicked on it once. I'm sure, and then you have so.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I guess this is a good time while we're in a commercial. If you haven't checked out our podcast, why am I putting an at? We're not on Twitter.
Yeah, we don't have
Behind the Glass Sports Podcast. You can search it on all platforms that you listen to your podcast to. Check us out there. We put out a new episode yesterday, so go check that out. Denver Nuggets, what is it, 35-35 right now? 37-35 Heat. Unless that's ahead. Now I'm angry. But I thought it was 35-35.
I'm pretty sure it was 35-35. I'm streaming it legally, by the way. I should probably clarify that.
Legally.
But we are watching on ESPN legally, but not on cable, so we are behind a little bit. Well, technically cable. I don't know. I'm watching it through the Comcast app on PC. There.
That was a bit of a struggle.
Yes. it
Looking
was.
at the stats right now, Jokic with 9 to lead the Nuggets. 3 of 7 shooting. He's 0 of 2 from 3 right now. Millsap has 2. MPJ has 3. 1 of 5. He's just been chucking them up. So, Torrey Craig, 5. Monte at 3. And Bol Bol on the board in his first real NBA game with 2 points. So,
Are the Nuggets the only game going on right now?
yes.
The next game starts here in an hour and a half. Jeez.
Yep.
Jazz
Utah,
Thunder.
OKC. You got
Oh, wow.
Clippers in New Orleans tonight.
4 out of the 5 games today are on ESPN.
Mhm.
Dang. I did not realize that. The only
Philly,
one that's
Indiana.
not is Philly and Indiana. That's the only team that's not, or only game that's not on ESPN today.
They're just not broadcasting that one. They're like,
Yeah.
eh, that's fine.
Eh,
You don't have
screw
to
it.
watch this. What are you gonna miss from this? Honestly,
We'd
what are you-
rather see Zion versus the Clippers.
Yeah, let's see Fat Zion trot onto the court.
I can't believe you hate Zion as much as you do.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, you do.
I just hate that he's so overhyped. He's a good player. I'm not saying that he's not, but he's so overhyped.
Bobo is now out.
Well, that was short lived.
It was 37-35.
Okay.
That's a tough shot by Jokic.
Oh.
Goodness.
Oh. Maybe that touch is starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to shoot more. As he shoots more, he'll get going. Another.
Oh my god.
How many did you already say how many fouls is that? This is ridiculous.
So in total, the Nuggets have 14 fouls right now.
Jeez.
Pretty much everybody has committed a foul on the team, except for Mason and Bol Bol. So everybody that's gotten it has fouled somebody. And for the Heat, They have 12 personal fouls, so same situation.
And they're in the bonus already. Leave it to the refs to make the first game of the NBA season not exciting.
Right. Now, PJ Dozier's back in. Hopefully, he doesn't get another 3 in 3 minutes.
There's
'cause
only
when
3
he's done-
guards. There's only 3 guards for the Nuggets. So if PJ fouls out, Monte, Troy Daniels,
Yeah, then we're going back to tall ball. So
yeah, at least when they went tall ball, they at least had Troy Daniels out there. That's it was a travel before the foul.
and on the court for the Heat is Hero, Duncan, Nunn, Jones, and Bam. For the Nuggets, you got PJ, Jokic, Jeremy, Paul. Who am I missing?
I'll bet you $5 who makes this free throw.
Torrey Craig. What? No. First off, you're ahead.
Oh, you should have took that bet.
No.
I'm a little bit farther behind than I thought.
I'm so angry.
I'll bet you Crumble Cookie makes this shot.
Good thing I didn't bet there. I didn't win $5, but I also didn't lose Crumble Cookie.
I bet you $5 they make a 3 here.
Are you
Yeah.
trying to tell me something here? Do you have a newfound gambling addiction that I need to know about? do we need to stop the stream and have a talk?
Bam.
I hate that closeout. I
Yeah.
hate that.
The Nuggets
closeout.
are really bad about. They might be the worst team at closing out threes.
I just don't get it. How often are you gonna block a guy's shot on the perimeter?
Yeah.
You know, just run at the guy, chop your feet, and put your hand up. If he hits it over you, that's a good shot. You're not gonna block it. I just don't get it. That's just laziness.
Ah, Paul. There you go.
Gracious.
Oh
my
gosh,
jeez.
this is.
What is this, volleyball? That's not
Can
a foul?
we get a foul?
All right, so we're calling, nipple touching on every Nuggets player out here. But Paul Millsap gets elbowed in his lung and nothing.
Look at that dork.
Ridiculous.
Can you see my?
Okay, that, nice and relaxed. Now I just see your neck.
All right. Now I just totally ruined my camera here.
Floater there, and just like that, the Nuggets are down 6 after regaining the lead for a split second. And again, I mean, we've mentioned it already a few times. Paul takes a tumble. This is the first game back, so
Nice
yeah,
move.
good shot. So I mean, you have to take this game with a grain of salt. Yes, obviously sloppiness is expected, but at a certain point too. I mean, you don't want to continuously foul guys and
Oof.
goodness, give up turnovers. Both teams in the bonus. 4.5 to go. Oh, mama.
Man, this is ugly.
I really like Miami's team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not going to put up 115 on you, but they're going to make it tough on you to score. They got a lot of good defenders.
Yeah, they're solid. They have the defenders, but they also have the shooters, and that's what's so intriguing. I guess the only, concern that I would have for them is their stars, right? Can their stars really carry them in the playoffs?
Yeah. Well, does Jimmy have enough help?
Right.
Looks like a little breaking news from the NFL. CJ Mosley has decided to opt out for the Jets. So it's another big name that's opted out for the NFL.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit nervous for the NFL. I'm not sure if we're gonna get through the whole season for them.
I mean, we're seeing it with baseball right now.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's going to get shut down again. I mean, I saw the other night that
Oof.
Rob Manfred is telling TV networks to schedule some different programming here soon.
Yeah.
So, and that's not a good sign.
But I mean, that just shows you how well the NBA really thought about everything.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the
obviously they
NBA,
have and the NHL.
NHL.
The
Well,
NHL
MLS is in a bubble.
what?
The MLS is in a bubble as well, I think.
Yeah. And just, you know, obviously the NBA and I think the NHL too to a degree, they have an advantage because of how small their courts, the court and the ice is. But especially the NBA. I mean, you can play basketball anywhere, right? So, if they really had to, they could have played outside. That would have been interesting.
Imagine that. You got Mickey just walking around in the background and somebody's getting dunked on.
That would have been cool. But obviously, if you could have perfect weather, I would have rather have seen that, but
You know what 2K should do in the next one? Have a Disney park.
they
Have a-
should implement
Have
the
a
bubble.
area. Yeah, have an area in the neighborhood where it's Disney themed,
Yeah.
just to kind of commemorate, this right here.
Yeah, well, Disney's got to also let you.
That's true too. That's true too.
And asking 2K to add something.
Yeah, God forbid. Still things that occur in that game that just defy all reality and physics.
Yeah.
46-45. Your score right now, 3:10 left in the second. There's a timeout on the floor. But, I mean, the Nuggets are hanging around. I mean, they could win this game. It's just got to clean up the sloppiness and the turnovers, Outside of that.
Yeah. I mean, the shooting, too. What are they shooting at right now? It's
41% and 15 from three.
Yeah.
64 from the free throw line.
Now, both
Not
teams
yet.
are shooting 42%. So the defense has stepped up for
Yep.
sure. But yeah, the 3-point shooting, I mean, they're 2 of 13. I mean, the Heat aren't shooting well either from 3, but that's something that we would like to see a little bit better. They're out rebounding them 22-15, which obviously if you go tall ball, that should be
Yeah.
expected. 7 offensive rebounds for the Nuggets. They should be the leader in offensive rebounds throughout the league for the next 5 years, at least. When you have Bobo, Jokic, MPJ out there.
When you have that lineup.
Yeah, and even Jamal, who's at 6'5", can rebound the ball. Assists 13-10. The Nuggets lead that. Steals, the Nuggets have 4. Miami has 2. Blocks, both teams with 2. 7 turnovers for the Nuggets, 5 for the Heat. Points off turnovers. Denver has 12 points off of the 5 turnovers for the Heat. The Heat only have 4 points off of the 7 Nuggets turnovers, so that's good to see. Even if they're turning the ball over, only 4 points off those turnovers. Points in the paint, 20-16. Denver leads that. Both teams with 14 fouls. Largest lead for Miami was 8. Largest lead for Denver is 2. So there's some of the team stats. The Nuggets have already gone 10 deep. Miami's gone 10 deep as well.
Leading scorer right now for the Nuggets is Jokic, still 12 points. He's missed 2 free throws early on, which not ideal. De'Aaron had 39 yesterday. Oh my goodness.
He's good, man. Couple years. I mean, unfortunately, he's in Sacramento, but when he
Honestly,
leaves
huge game
Sacramento.
last night. He's just so unguardable. Giannis is. There was a play last night where
that was
he's going
stupid.
on the baseline and he goes under the hoop and he takes his 2 steps and he's already on the other side of the hoop and you're just like, how do I even?
Yeah, all he
Done
has to
that.
do is run the floor. They throw the ball up, and no one can get in his way. So everyone's just watching him, and he just takes 2 more steps and just dunks it.
Well, even if you are in his way, as a 3 from Paul Millsap there, I mean, he just dunks it over you.
Right.
His arms are so long, he just dunks it on you. And you're just like, well, that's defeating.
You know what's crazy though? If Bol could put some weight on him like Giannis did, he could essentially be that. with the shot. But
Eh,
can Bol Bol
yeah,
put on that type of weight?
yeah.
I
I
mean,
think Giannis is a little bit more agile and quick too than
yeah,
Bull, though. He
yeah,
might
a
be a
little
little bit
bit.
more explosive.
Oh.
Bull doesn't really strike me as an explosive athlete. He's just freakishly tall and long.
Right.
Whereas Giannis, I mean, 6'11", coming at you that fast, and he's got go-go gadget arms that just dunk on you.
One
I'd be
day.
curious to see what do you think Giannis's 40 is?
Oh, I don't know. Like a 4.5, 4.6, maybe. I mean, with
I'd say
those
probably like 4'7".
with those legs though, he doesn't really need to move that quick.
I wonder how many of my strides equal Giannis's strides. Probably
Probably-
like 7.
Right.
Like,
We've all seen you run and tumble.
okay, I was laying out for the win.
No,
I
you
didn't
were
trip.
not. I
I
still
was
have that.
laying out for the win.
I watched it the other day.
I dove for
no,
the win.
No, you did not dive. You fell. You full on fell.
Oh, fake news. I dove for the win.
We're gonna start off the next podcast with that short little clip of Steven falling.
Nuggets starting to look like they're getting control of things. They're up 50-48. Second quarter's
Nice
wane
move.
now. Did he airball that?
No,
Oh, he
he
made that.
He made it.
He
P-
airballed it.
PJ Dozier, man, he can get to the rim. I really like him. I would rather have him out there than Monte as a backup point guard. I know that's not going to happen. Woo. But he's looking good.
yeah.
He's looking really good.
I
Him
mean,
in
I
the
don't know
fast
if
break?
he's.
Goodness.
I don't know if he's the. I don't know. I mean, Monte's really good at getting you into your offense, getting guys set up.
But he can run the pick and roll, though,
He
too.
can too.
He's a very good passer. Like, that's the one thing when I remember when they brought him up, because I was working at Altitude at this point, and everyone was talking about his pick and roll game. Like, that was the thing. And then he comes in and he's getting to the rim, he's shooting. I'm like, no one said anything about this.
Yeah, and he's what 6'5"?
Yeah,
6'6"?
he's 6. I think he's 6'6".
I mean, he's a big guard.
How the hell are the Nuggets getting all this talent though? Where are they finding
know.
these guys? How?
But stop bringing it up before we jinx it.
He's 6'6", 205. He's 23 years old. In the regular season, averaged 1.4, 1.4. He shot 40% from the field, only 63% from the free throw line, and only 25 from three. So in the regular season, wasn't shooting the ball that well. But man, his ability to get to the rim with that length, and then defensively too, he's solid. He's bigger, so he can guard some of those bigger guards.
Had an and one coming the other way for Jimmy Butler after Jeremy Grant just had an and one. So I guess we're up 7, depending on Jimmy can make this free throw here. Might cut this to 4 points here.
How do you get on those video boards? I know you want to get on those.
I think you have to pay for that. I think you have to pay for it, but I also think the team gets to choose who gets on.
Yeah.
So, given how much slander I have thrown towards Mason Plumlee, I don't think I would make the cut.
How much would you pay? Well, I guess I don't know how much money you have.
Honestly, probably none. I don't really care to be on the virtual world. I can't even see myself unless they pay into me.
I see Minnie Mouse though.
I think I saw Dirk on it last night for the Mavericks.
That's funny.
I don't know if I like that shot from PJ. I don't know if he has that in his game, hitting those tough contested shots. But they'll have her 2 for 1 here, so.
Yeah, Torrey.
Torrey. And I thought he fouled him. If he just stays down, you just got to stay down.
When it comes down to it, I don't think Torrey's going to play much in the playoffs.
Oh, I think so.
You want his defense, but when he has to guard some of the smaller guards, he does struggle. That's a tough shot. That was a. I mean, I get you're at the buzzer, but don't really like that. 1 point lead for the Nuggets, 57-56. I mean, thoughts on the first half?
It was looking rough to start, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think they got things settled a little bit. There weren't as much foul calls down the stretch of that second quarter, which is nice. Jokic obviously, as they've shown the replay of him, he got in a rhythm. I think right now he's going to go in with 13, 15 points. So 14 points for Jokic. It looks like the offense is starting to settle in a little bit, which looks good. Still would like the fouls to stop. I mean, you had a 7-point lead right there, then you give an and one up to Jimmy, and then you're not disciplined on defense, and you're flying right past the shooter. So, but other than that, I mean, overall, it was, it's fine. They're winning, so I'll take it.
Yeah, biggest surprise and then biggest disappointment so far.
I'd say the biggest surprise is, that Bol got minutes as early as he did.
Okay.
I did not expect that. And he got probably 5 minutes?
He got
5 minutes.
5 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds.
So I'll say that. I'd say biggest disappointment is just kind of the sloppiness in terms of foul trouble. You want those guys to clean it, especially from your guards. I mean, you can't have Monte and PJ both having 3, knowing that you're short on guards. Yeah. You just can't have that right now.
Yeah, and those two guys are both playing their first game, so you can kind of tell it's not necessarily they're just fouling to foul. They're not quick right now.
Right.
They're not.
Yeah, they're a step behind.
Yeah, they're definitely maybe 2 steps behind right now. So, biggest surprise for me, honestly, is PJ Dozier. He came in 6 points, 3 of 6, 2 assists and a rebound. But his ability just when they speed up the game and he's in the open court, he's really good. So that's, to me, I honestly did not expect that from PJ Dozier. That little stretch that he had just a few minutes ago was really good. For me, biggest disappointment, I'm going to say MPJ. 1 for 5. The way he started in that third scrimmage game was really good, but coming into this one, 1 for 5, 3 points, does have 3 assists and 1 rebound. I believe he has a block as well in 11 minutes. So that's probably the biggest disappointment right now for me. Jokic 5 of 10 though, shooting 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Jokic's.
He looks good.
Yeah.
He looks like Jokic.
Yeah. Jeremy Grant 11 points. Yeah. Jeremy Grant 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 rebound, 1 assist. One thing about Jeremy Grant though, I would like to see him rebound the ball better. At 6'9", he doesn't. I don't know what he averaged during the season, but he doesn't seem to. He only averaged 3.5 rebounds a game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't imagine it's much over 3.
Yeah, that's something that would like to see him improve on. Is just rebounding the ball. Torrey Craig 5 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 of 2 shooting, 1 of 1 from the 3. And then Monte 1 of 4, 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 fouls. So. Everyone else, the only 2 guys in double figures right now is Jokic and Jeremy Grant. For the Heat, Bam Adebayo, 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Butler with 10 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds on 2 of 5 shooting. And then Duncan Robinson with 12, 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. Tyler Hero is 7, 3 of 5 shooting.
Yeah, you'd like to see them be a little bit more disciplined defensively, the Nuggets, especially when it comes to the 3. I mean, they're letting guys get by them, but they're contesting nicely at the rim for the most part. I mean, most of these are ending in fouls, but I mean, just their discipline at the 3-point line. I mean, again, I will never understand wanting to jump past a guy.
Yeah.
Like, just stand there and, put your hand in their face if you'd like. I mean, at that point, at least if they pump fake, you're there.
Right.
And they don't have a chance to reset their shot. Now, if they pump fake and you're there, now it's okay. Now I'm going to have to pass it out, or I'm going to have to create something. So it's just, I don't know.
One concern, the Nuggets have, the Nuggets have taken 9 more shots than the Heat. And they're only up by 1. Nuggets are shooting 47% from the field. The Heat are shooting 45%. I'm rounding up a little bit. Miami, 5 for 15 from 3, 33%. Denver, 3 of 15, just 20% from 3. Free throws. The Nuggets have 5 missed free throws. They're 10 of 15. The Heat, 17 of 18. And then rebounding. Yep. This is where the Nuggets are getting most of their extra shots here. 24 to 17 in rebounds, 7 of 3 in offensive rebounds. Um, so that's the big one. Points in the paint, the Nuggets 28 points in the paint. Miami was just 20. I mean, honestly, just looking at the numbers here, I don't know how the Nuggets are only up by 1. Turnovers, I mean, Nuggets with 7, Heat with 6. Points off turnovers, Denver with 12, the Heat with only 6. So
It's those fouls.
it's the fouls, it's the free throw shooting. Right now they're
Jeez.
getting outscored from the free throw line by 7.
Yeah, you sent them
And
to the line 18 times.
right, and I mean, it's not like the Nuggets have 15 free throws though. You know, they're just missing them. And they're getting outscored by 6 points from the 3-point line. So you're getting outscored from the 3-point line and the free throw line combined 13 points. So that's where the issue is right now for the Nuggets.
Yeah, hopefully they can clean that up in the second half. And curious to see if Bull's gonna get any more time in the second. We saw him get that 5 minutes, and I don't that was a unique lineup, man,
Mhm.
of Jokic, Plumlee, MPJ, Bull, and Troy Daniels. Like
Yeah.
that is, if you want offense and flow and movement, that's the offense right there.
Right. And look, your defense
That's
really
you.
isn't taking a hit because Jokic, as much as people kind of crap on his defense, at least national wise, he's a good defender. He moves his feet. He gets his hands in the way. He's good at tipping the ball. So
Oh, he's got great hands.
yeah. And then Mason Plumlee's a solid defender. And then the length. You got 4 7-foot wingspans out there. One is nearly an 8-foot wingspan. It's ridiculous. So you've got the ability to at least cover ground defensively, and no one's gonna get an easy bucket at the right at the rim. At least no one should. So that's something where that lineup does work. And like, you know, I guess the biggest question is, you know, that most people have, like, same thing with small ball, is can tall ball work? Can tall ball work? Like, can small ball work? I think the obviously the biggest difference is defense. At least with tall ball, you can at least force guys to take tough shots, you know, right around the rim. I guess where you're gonna struggle though is your rotations. But again, I mean, the context of those 7-footers, you know, 2 of them maybe don't move the ball, don't move as well, which is fine, but 2 of them do, and 2 of them can cover a lot of ground, and they can guard outside. So, and then you got Troy Daniels, who's maybe like 6'4" maybe. So
Maybe.
defensively, and like if you replace Troy Daniels with, say, a Jamal, defensively, I think you're pretty solid.
Troy might be like 6'2". I don't even know if he's 6'4".
I thought he was a bigger guard, but maybe not.
Oh no, I mean he's listed at 6'4", 205.
Yeah.
So he looks smaller than that.
I think. As my dog was chewing on my damn cord. Look at this.
Did he completely rip it?
I don't know. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna get electrocuted.
If he hasn't already, probably why he stopped.
Yeah, it's toast. Oh yeah, it's completely broken through.
The joy of having puppies.
Yep. 7 months old. Brad.
Past that phase.
Hey.
Now we're just in the phase with my dogs where they're just plopped right there. Just all herded together. It looks like a fluff of cotton back there, but it's actually 3 dogs pieced together like a Tetris puzzle. They're all old, mainly disabled, so there's not a lot of movement going on back there anymore. One's blind, one's paralyzed, one's got a bad back and is on lots of drugs. So just good time. Tough crowd back there. And the bed is so small that one of them's hanging off of it. So it's like, even though there's a bigger bed right here that's like double the size, but they all just want to just fluff together.
I wish I could move my camera around, but I can't.
Nuggets bench with 26 points.
Yeah.
In that first half.
Yeah, their starters are struggling. Paul Millsap 6 points, Porter 3 points, 5 points for Craig, and 3 points for Morris. So, other than Jokic, no one on the Nuggets starting lineup is really doing anything offensively. Which again, you're missing Jamal, which really hurts. You're missing Will. You're missing Gary, which I mean.
Are we missing Gary? That's mean. I shouldn't be mean to Gary. Gary's starting to take Mason
Look,
Plumlee's.
Gary is my twin, so I'm gonna support him.
Oh, hey, don't you guys have the same birthday or something like that?
Yeah, same exact day. September 14th, 1994.
I need you to like do some telepathicness towards him and get him to. Maybe he needs to go see the sports psychologist that Ben Simmons saw to hit threes. That's what Gary needs to hit, floaters, and really anything offensively.
Yeah, obviously you're missing those 3 guys, so that hurts your offense. Well, 2 of the 3 guys does. But MPJ, 1 of 5. Like, you gotta, especially with a couple of those first shots where he was wide open, you gotta hit those shots. He took a couple of tough ones. The one he did make was a tough 3 in the corner, but he's got to hit those shots if he wants to play more minutes than he was in the regular season. I mean, really, that's what he's out there for, right? You got to score. You got to hit those shots.
Right. %48 for the Nuggets at half 46%, 20% from 3, 66% from the free throw line.
Nice.
What is that?
It's from his
Yarn?
It's from one of his toys. Can you not?
It's just deconstructing everything, tearing through it
He's
like
bored.
a barbarian.
He wants attention. Can you not?
Gracious, how long is this halftime?
I don't know. This is the longest halftime.
Maybe it's just because we haven't done this in a while and we haven't had a halftime, but goodness.
I'm about to go get some food.
Can we get back to the action, please, here? I mean, they're in a bubble. They can't go anywhere. What is the halftime entertainment? Is it just Mickey and Goofy come out and juggle for everybody?
I don't think there is any.
I mean, should there be though? Like, I mean, they're at Disney. I mean,
Yeah, but you also are in a bubble.
they're like, "Welcome back, Mickey."
Who's gonna watch? You think
There
the
was a woo.
the players and the coaches are gonna be watching that?
The PA guy. Well, there's players and coaches that come watch the games.
What do they do with the? They have locker rooms, right?
I would assume so. I don't know. I don't think they just go behind the curtain and
Just hang out.
yeah. That would be hilarious. I hope they have like the mascots come out there and do something for a halftime show.
Have you been watching some of the vlogs? Like JaVale McGee has been vlogging.
I've not seen them, but I know a lot of players are doing it.
Troy
Isn't
Daniels,
Troy Daniels?
yeah, Troy Daniels has posted 3. But JaVale McGee's one is pretty good. It's pretty funny.
I'm gonna have to check them out.
They went fishing, the Lakers did, and Alex Caruso is holding up the fish, whatever.
Yeah.
But one of I forget who it was. I think it was Tucker, Horton Tucker. He was scared to touch the fish. It's pretty funny. He caught it, but he wouldn't hold it up, to take a picture. So he had Caruso hold up the fish for him so he could take a picture next to the fish.
God. Apparently, they stocked the lake with fish so the NBA players could catch them.
Yeah, that's the rumor at least.
So,
It's pretty funny. What would you be doing if you were in the bubble? Out of all the activities that we've seen them do, like what would be the one where you're doing the most?
probably eating.
Why did I even ask?
Probably eating. I mean, if we're being honest here.
Would you have pulled a Lou Williams and gone out to go get Crumble Cookie?
Man. Honestly, if there was one nearby,
we all know he didn't go for the wings, but you know,
Right.
you mainly for food. You know,
Yes.
you would have gone.
You
for
know,
the
if I leave, it's strictly for food.
food. Right.
I might. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been. Well, no, I have been to. Have I? I think I've been to that because it's Disney World that's out there, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Land?
Yeah, they're in
I always get those
Disney
confused.
World. I've been to
Okay.
Disneyland.
I think I've been there, but it's been. I mean, I was a little kid last time I went. So.
Yeah, when I went to Disneyland last summer, I desperately want to go back. It's so much fun. But they had this restaurant where the desserts were massive shakes. They were literally putting a full piece of brownie on
No,
top of the shake, or like, and then
Speaking-
putting ice cream on top.
That's.
It looked like a trophy when they were holding it. You know how
I
the
would hold it as a
NBA trophy, the NBA
Yes.
trophy has the basketball. That's what it looked like. You had a giant piece of cake or a giant piece of brownie on top of the shake.
You know, a lot of people on their bucket list, they have like destinations or cool things they want to do. You know, inspire people. Me, it's just eat at all the dessert places in the world that are very famous. I think that's just mine. I would definitely hold that up as a trophy, though. Speaking of brownies, though, we're making a brownie chocolate chip cookie dough cheesecake today, which I am excited for. Let me tell you.
Yeah, no, cheesecake is gross.
See, I've never. Okay, I didn't know, and I'm probably gonna get made fun. Do you like cream cheese?
No,
Okay, well,
no.
who are you?
Why would you put cheese in a dessert? I'm good.
Anyways, that was my thinking though. Like, I like cream cheese. Like, you've never had cream cheese with a bagel before? It's so delicious.
I've had cream cheese. It's not very good.
You're just weird.
That's a
You're
bad
just
shot by
honestly
Tori.
weird.
Yeah, you made it though.
That's definitely just a no, no, no. Like, no, and like, okay, you made it, but don't do that again. But no, I never thought the cheese that's in cheesecake is cream cheese. I don't know why I never put that together. So I've always avoided cheesecake. But this whole time, I found out yesterday that the actual cheese in cheesecake is cream cheese. And I'm like, all the desserts I have turned down in my life because they're cheesecake. And I just felt like it would be nasty when I love cream cheese. Oh, God. One of my biggest regrets in life, honestly. If I'm getting vulnerable right now, that's it. I mean, that's just it. So that's up there. It's a lot of things. MPJ back on the court. Nuggets up 4 right now. He didn't start, did he?
MPJ started.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's a dumb question. I mean, like, start the second half, but yes.
Oh yeah.
We're only like 2 minutes in.
Turn this down.
So Monte, Tori, MPJ, Jokic, and Paul on the floor.
Nice cut. Ah.
He got caught.
Yep.
Gotta check it up.
Nice drive by Monte. That's what he needs to do more of that.
Yeah.
Because he's quick. He can get to the rim. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, you can't come down on him like that, Tori. You just got to keep it straight up. You can't slap him in the face.
Well, you're right, Mike. This was excellent
Good
patience.
pump.
And then
See, that's on Jay. Why is he getting so high on him? You know, just play him front.
doesn't want to help off
Force
the
him to take that
outside
shot.
corner.
Play so high, now you give him the drive and blows right past you.
Offensive play. Passes it, shoots it. It just really
Hopefully that's a
down back up.
recurring theme in the second half is a couple missed free throws from the Heat.
Mhm.
They're only missing, I think, one, right, in the first half? Yeah, they only missed
Yeah,
one.
they
in the
only
first
missed one.
half.
They were 17 of 18. You would think
So
the Nuggets are playing
64.
Houston with James Harden out there. How many free throws there were?
64-59. Nuggets up. 9:42 in the third. Low scoring game. A lot of good defense being played, mainly because there's just been fouls called.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Ah.
all right. That's awkward.
move, Paul. Got to shoot it.
That's such a tough shot. That was a horrible. This lineup here offensively has no flow whatsoever.
There's just no movement.
Yeah, it's not good. But this seems to be a theme with the Nuggets starters. No matter who starts, And it's more so that Malone puts more defensive guys in the starting lineup, which I get. But, man, it really hurts their offense.
When you don't have the same threat in that pick and roll with Monte that you do with Jamal. I mean, Jamal he's a little bit better at getting to the basket. He can make those tough shots. I think guys are going to commit a little bit more help to Jamal than they will Monte.
Mm-hmm.
MPJ getting lost on defense, ball watching. It's a tough shot.
That's a bad shot. You want Jokic to take more shots, but not like that. Yeah, Jimmy Butler is starting to
He's
just
asserting
attack.
himself.
Yep.
He's only got 13 right now, but 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 4 assists, 2 rebounds.
Yeah, and these guys are gonna get calls. The stars.
Told me he wanted no name on his back because he doesn't want to be treated differently.
64, 63, 840 left to go. We thank you guys for joining us if you're watching via YouTube as we react to the Nuggets' first game of the restart against the Miami Heat.
Oh.
First of 8. Monte. Oh. Nobody comes back to help. Monte doing his best Anthony Carter impression. Of course, Jimmy blows the layup, but no one runs with Monte to help out.
And that's gotta have Malone just fuming. What was
And
your
fumigating. There's an angle.
fumigating?
And see, that's what has to happen. I mean, guys have to move in this lineup.
Well, and
'Cause
look, Porter started 1 for 5. So look what now he's doing in the second half, right? He's getting to the rim, he's cutting, making sure that Jokic sees him. That's what he needs to do. If you're struggling shooting the ball, and as talented as he is, and as tall as he is, that's how you get into rhythm, right? Cutting to the basket, getting easy buckets at the rim, maybe getting fouled, getting to the free throw line. Now you can kind of start to step out a little bit more and start taking shots. You know, get some of that confidence back.
Oh, wow. Good shot. Didn't know Bam could stop and float it up like that. Didn't know he had that touch.
Yeah, he's I would take him over. Oof, that's a pass for Bol. I would take Bam over Rudy Gobert. Easily.
Yeah.
What in the world is happening over here? He's pulling his
Jokic
bed.
has been kind of off on these passes early. In this restart in the scrimmages. He's missed a lot of passes than he normally does, and I'm sure that's probably just a product of him trying to get back into it. But he overthrew Bol in one of the scrimmages, and I was like,
He's
man,
tall,
that's
not that tall.
hard. Yeah, like that's hard to do. Fouling him in the act.
No, that should have been before. Yeah, that's on the side. What are you doing? Hey.
Oh, he fouled him when he was shooting it, though. Oh, they called it on the.
They called it on the screen.
But he also fouled Hero. Is that Hero or is that Duncan?
Hey, stop.
I think that's Duncan. And they're already in the bonus. How? How are we calling this many fouls already?
Hey. Yeah, how are they in the bonus? This dog is driving me nuts.
Where we're at with this?
Can you not? Yelling at my damn child.
69, 67, 7.5 to go in the third.
All right, you're gonna have to take it for a second. Driving me nuts.
On the court with the Nuggets right now, it's Millsap, Monte, Jokic, MPJ, and Torrey. That's a tough shot by Torrey. Again, that's something you don't want to see from Torrey. I mean, he's fading and he's shooting a three. That's not in his game. That's a good shot from Jay Crowder. There's a timeout on the floor. The Nuggets are getting a little bit undisciplined right now, down 5, 72-67. Solid screen by Bam.
Hey, stop it.
And hopefully the Nuggets can rebound here. How much of this is just rust that they have to shake off? And we know the Nuggets did have some issues earlier in the year with their defense, and then when the defense was kind of cured, the offense kind of struggled. So it's been a tough year for the Nuggets to kind of put 2 and 2 together. They haven't really had many complete games. I'm sure a lot of that was due to the injuries and missing time for some guys, key players missing time. But hopefully in this restart in these 8 games, they can find a way to get everything down pat and go into the playoffs on a good start, on a good stride. Looking at the stats right now, leading scorer for the Heat, Bam Adebayo, 7 of 12, 19 points, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Jimmy Butler with 14. And Duncan Robinson with 12. Kendrick Nunn with 9. And then for the Nuggets right now, 16 points for Jokic, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Jeremy Grant, 11 off the bench. And then you got 8, 6, 6 for Torrey, MPJ, and Paul Millsap respectively. So the Nuggets they're getting contribution from everybody. Everybody that's been in the game today has scored. But it's just the defense is just letting them down today.
It's like having a damn child.
Yeah. So that's what puppy dogs are like. Now we got all the squeaky toys in the household.
Yes.
The Nuggets go down 5. MPJ gives up a 3. And it's a struggle for the Nuggets right now, trying to play solid defense and then translate that over into offense. But again, we just have to continue to remember it's the first game back. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be rust. And they don't even have their full starters yet.
Right.
So
And
even when that happens.
Right, they're going to get back, and then we got to do this all over again. So
Ideally, hopefully these guys are back by, Monday.
Mhm.
At least 2 of them. Hopefully we see Barton play. Hopefully you see Jamal play. I don't know how long Gary's going to be out.
Yeah, Gary's, I don't know if you saw the injuries, but Gary's injury concerns me because it's a hip injury.
Yep. Nope, I'm right there with you. And that's the issue he's had, is that hip, that groin.
Oh, so even when he comes back, he's not going to be very effective. I don't know. This playoff run, it's good, and they're showing them it's going to have to be on MPJ. It really is. He's, and I get a lot of people say Jamal's the X factor, and I don't necessarily think he's an X factor anymore. I think it's more so he has to be that guy, not just an X factor. MPJ is X factor. If MPJ can go out there and put up 15 to 20 a game,
Yep.
it's gonna change this team a lot. But you can't rely on Will or Gary to go out there and get 15 points a game. You just can't. It was more so Will, obviously, but like with Will's injury too, we saw Will come off of an injury last year right before the playoffs, and he just wasn't the same guy. So I don't know. It's concerning with those 2 guys.
The Heat are forcing the Nuggets into a lot of tough contested shots today.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of open shots.
Yeah, their defense is very good.
And I think part of that too is that's just the Nuggets kind of being lazy. And you could chalk that up to, rust and fatigue as Monte turns it over there, and Jimmy Butler almost snaps his arm. But
And that right there on Monte was just rust again. His first game, I mean, your 2 point guards are playing in their first game. It's just, it does not help that they came in. They like half the team came in so late, and that's just, it's frustrating. Nice shot there.
that's a
though.
big shot.
Jokic is gonna have to take over here.
puts him up to 19, I believe.
Good defense. And see, look, Jokic, his defense is so underrated. He's not going to go out there and get block shots, but
He's
the
not
way
gonna make an all
he
defensive team, but
right, but the way he
can
moves
be
his feet,
efficient.
Bam is a good offensive player. Like he's solid, and Jokic forced him to go run out of bounds. I mean, it's a good defensive possession by Jokic. There you go. Got the
Got the
mismatch.
switch.
Now take it. Don't pass the ball.
See, he's waiting too long.
Well, then he got doubled. So.
But he's waiting too long. I
Well,
feel like once you
well,
get that
Monte was
square
supposed to
up-
cut though. So, and this is where again guys are behind. Monte, instead of clogging up that right or that left side where you had Torrey Craig also there, Monte needs to cut and get out and rotate. That way, Jeremy Grant can come up. And Jokic, instead of getting doubled there, the reason why he got doubled, that was Monte's guy. If Monte cuts, Jokic doesn't get doubled there. And then when he does, it's going to open it up for Torrey Craig, who was on that wing.
And on that defensive possession,
That's
the
a
Nuggets
travel.
force a turnover as a travel's called. But that's exactly what you want from Torrey Craig. Speaking of, I was just talking about, he's flying by guys earlier in the half.
Right.
On the 3, he stays down on Hero. So Hero has to now, he forces him to dribble, now drive. Now he has to kick it. And now the ball's fumbled around. Bad passes. Guys are denying. Great. And then you get a turnover there. But I mean, it's a ripple effect. If he jumps past that guy, Hero either has an open 3 or he can step in and hit an open mid range, force him to drive into your help. And then it's tough passes, tough swings. Shot. Jay Crowder has really turned into a solid 3-and-D guy too. He's become really good at hitting those threes in clutch moments. He did it for Boston, Utah. He was good. Where did he start originally? Did he start in Boston?
I want to say Utah, but it might have been Boston.
Well, this is just terrific offense. The rotation, the skip right into the shooting pocket.
Ball's there. It's a tough shot.
And give Duncan Robinson credit too. Because he's such a lethal shooter coming off that, he drew the second defender, he made a quick decision, and then
Oh, he started in Dallas.
quick decision.
Okay.
Started in Dallas, traded to Boston.
Yep. He also had some time in Cleveland too, right, with LeBron?
A year in Cleveland, 2 years in Utah. I thought he started in Utah, but that was
He's
recent.
been around, but he's turned into a really good 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that, honestly, he might be oof. Now you're down 8 after a 3 there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, he's kind of what you want Torrey Craig to be.
Right. And
Miscommunication there.
Nuggets defense is falling apart here. They've given up 80 points and third quarter's not even over yet. And to me, it's on their offense. If their offense wasn't so just flat and there's no movement, there's no one out there that can hit tough shots. When their offense isn't moving, I feel like their defense really struggles.
Yeah.
When they have that momentum offensively and they're playing fast, their defense steps up a lot. And that's where it's like, I get Malone wants more defensive. If they're struggling defensively, he tends to put in defensive guys. But I feel like you got to do the opposite. You got to put in some guys who are going to go out there and score. And maybe this is a time where he puts in Troy Daniels and Bol Bol here. That in this moment here. Down by 8. You don't want the game to get away from you. You're struggling offensively. And that length of the Bol Bol can bother them defensively too.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, and I think Scott Hastings always says it all the time on the broadcast. The Nuggets are one of those teams where when their offense isn't good, their defense isn't good. But when they're playing well offensively, they have more energy on defense. Where, I mean, you would think it would be the other way around, that,
Right.
okay, we're struggling offensively, we got to ramp up the defensive effort, get some easy buckets. Doesn't always work like that for the Nuggets. I don't know if that's a mindset thing or if it's just, they just don't have those players that can realize, hey, we're not doing it on that end. We need to just lock down here,
I think it's
lock down defensively. It's easier.
yeah, I think it's a confidence thing. I think when you're going offensively, especially when you have a bunch of young guys, when you're going offensively, I think that just gives you the confidence and like just that extra level defensively where you can maybe move a little bit quicker, be a little bit more aggressive, go for block shots, stuff like that. I think that's kind of what the offense and just that confidence really offensively gives you that confidence defensively.
Nuggets down 8 as we're late into the third quarter, 3:52 to go, 80-72. The Heat are up right now. Back and forth game. I mean, it's switched leads quite a bit. The Nuggets have had chances. They've been up as much as 7 was their largest lead, and that was cut very quickly. Now, I believe this is the Heat's largest lead in the game so far. The Nuggets have had their chances, but, I mean, the Heat, give them credit. They're coming back shooting 50% from the field right now, 42% from 3 and 51% from the field, as opposed to the Nuggets, 47.5%, 48% if you round up from the field, but they're only shooting 24% from 3. And again, that just always seems to be the bugaboo for the Nuggets. It always, whenever they lose, you can almost always look at the 3-point shooting. It's always going to be awful.
Yeah.
And, this, again, like, this is just where I'm at. If I'm playing the Nuggets, I'm making it tough on Jokic, and there's a turnover right out of the gate. I'm forcing him into tough shots. I'm trying to get the ball out of his hands, and I'm forcing other guys to beat me. And as we've seen time and time again, the Nuggets don't, at least right now, they don't have guys that can do that are at least playing enough. We feel like they have guys that can do it, but they're just not playing. So,
yeah, Troy Daniels is now in the game, trying to get some offense going. Plumlee's in the game, maybe to help some defense. But it's hard when you're missing 3 starters, and you can't really get a feel for the game at all. And you're playing, your 2 guards, your 2-point guards are playing in their first game. So it's just, I don't know. They're in a very tough spot.
down 10.
Which
Heat's
worries
biggest
me
lead of the
because
game.
they're only a game ahead of Utah.
Yeah.
You don't want to fall to the 4 or 5 and have to play the Lakers in the second round.
Right. Utah gets a win over New Orleans the other night. So,
They play Oklahoma City today.
on the court for the Nuggets is Plumlee, Dozier, Troy Daniels, Jokic, and Jeremy Grant. And I'm not sure what Dozier's thinking there. And Malone is extremely frustrated on the sideline, as he should be. I mean, the shot selection has not been great. And credit the Heat's defense. I mean, there have not been a lot of open shots as Hero gets a shot there from 3. And part of that is movement, and part of that is turnovers as well. I mean, here's a shade over. You get a foul there, but I mean, if Daniels swings that, he has Jeremy Grant open on the wing before Robinson can close out, unless that was Hero. I think that's Robinson.
Yeah, it's Robinson. Again, they're doubling Jokic, and right now,
And this is what they're going to do. I mean, they have no fear of anybody else on the floor right now.
yeah.
So if you're Malone, okay, there we go. I was going to say, I mean, why not get MPJ? You got to get people in the game that can strike some sort of fear.
And
And
this is
the perfect
why.
time. Bol
This
Bol.
is why. Look,
Yeah.
Jokic is your best player, but why do we always say that Jamal Murray might be your most important player?
Mhm.
And it's because of those reasons. And as Plumlee just does a flyby, a wide open 3 for.
And
Jay
he
Crowder.
does that so much, and it just irritates me. It just irritates me. Like, you can't you can't do that. Like, why are you flying by? If you just put your hand up, you're at least 5 to 6 inches taller than this guy. That's another tough shot. And good hustle by Grant to keep it
And,
here, but
and if that was MPJ instead of Grant, MPJ would have gotten that offensive rebound and dunked it there. Like, that's what I'm talking about is, you know, MPJ, his offensive rebounding, his motor. I mean, right there, Grant gave up on the offensive rebound instead of just keep going. It's just that's a bad shot by Jeremy Grant. And then no help for Dozier on the other end.
and this is where, again, I mean, we've talked about it. If the Nuggets are losing big, I mean, this is where you'd like to see
There you go. There's
the
a three
lineup
for
of
MPJ.
MPJ, Troy Daniels. You know, bring in Bol Bol. Why not bring in Bol Bol at
Right.
this point? I mean, you're down 12. You need a spark offensively. Nobody else is giving it to you. You know, Jokic is off the floor right now. You get another foul there. I don't know if they're going to call that in the act or not, but
Absorb the contact and then finish. And on the other end, Porter, nice play by Dozier to Porter. Watch Porter shoot pre-game. He has effort.
they're already in the bonus. The Miami Heat have been in the bonus every quarter. Every quarter.
And it's the guards. It's Monte. It's PJ Dozier. I mean, they're just a lot of fouls from those two, and they're just not moving. They're not fast enough right now.
Minute and a half to go in the third. Nuggets down 14, 89-75. I mean, here's where you'd like to see another foul is called, a 5 to 7 point run to end out this quarter.
I don't want to see Jeremy Grant take another shot outside the paint. It's been bad. I don't know what he's shooting right now, but
He's 4 of 11, 0 for 3 from the 3.
he better not take another shot outside the paint. Like, this is... That's not why they brought him along.
WNBA coverage continues Sunday from the IMG bubble in Bradenton, Florida. Leanna Taurasi and the Mercury take on the Liberty at 1 on ESPN. And at 6 on ESPN2, the Dallas Wings and Las Vegas.
Monte's going to cut this to 13. Right now, he'll have one more free throw.
WNBA years ago and women's basketball and Olympics. Leanna Taurasi.
Again, you just need ideally a 5 to 7 point swing here. I mean, you want to finish this quarter on a run. Just finish strong. Try and get within, 8 or so.
Try and get single digits if you can.
Down 12. Finish strong as Jimmy Butler's back in the game. Both Hero and Robinson are in. Daniels over helps there, but luckily Hero missed a 3.
And that's what you want to see from Monte. Just get to the rim.
Well, really, the team. I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't seen that a lot today in today's game. There hasn't been a lot of drives to the basket.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been a lot of movement. And I'm sure you can credit part of that to being, the Heat's defense. They're not letting guys blow by them. But also, you're not really seeing the Nuggets attempt to move either.
Really, the only guy that I've seen move is MPJ. Really. I mean, and now Monte's starting to get to the rim, but other than that, it's really just been MPJ and I guess Jokic. Just at least being aggressive somewhat.
Good steal.
Grant got held. Yeah, Grant got sealed by Olenek. Please don't shoot that.
And he's throwing up those contested threes.
Yeah.
I
A
think
head
that's a lot of
fake
him
and then
pressing,
drive.
too.
Yeah, head fake there, drive baseline would have been. Because you had Duncan too high there. You could have easily driven to the rim and got a bucket.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he's not in the act there. It's on the rebound, so he's well, they're in the bonus, so it doesn't matter. Not an ideal start for the Nuggets, but again, I mean, before people get too down there are missing 3 starters. You know, 2 of those guys are offensive creators, and Jamal and Will. So
Yeah, I think the frustrating part is the fouls. And
Yeah.
I mean the refs aren't helping the situation either. But Miami's being aggressive, and they've kind of figured out that the refs are just calling everything, right? So they're going right to the rim every time. If the Nuggets were just get aggressive, get aggressive and get to the line, just like Miami's doing. It's gonna be more painful for us to watch, but I mean, they're the ones being aggressive, so they're the ones in the bonus. They're the ones getting fouls.
it was back to 13 with 8 seconds left to go. Maybe the Nuggets get a shot off here. And Grant fumbles it out of bounds. That's just kind of been
This has been an awful
Story of the
game
game.
from Jeremy Grant. This has been brutal.
I
To
mean, really
put-
for everyone. No one's really played well. I mean, Jokic's stat line is nice, but
It's sticking out though with Grant. Everyone's sloppy, but it's really sticking out with Jeremy Grant. His shot selections, he's nowhere to be found rebounding the ball. Defensively, he hasn't been that good. He's had the worst game, I think, out of everyone. And then
you
no
get a
one
closeout
stops
layup.
ball.
So you're down 15 going into the 4th. And not an ideal start to the restart. But you have a quarter to try and figure things out and at least try and build some momentum for the rest of the restart. But not an ideal way to get things going in the bubble. And Jokic right now, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Everybody has been a minus, though, in the plus minus, except for Bull. He's a +0. Not sure how that happened. I don't even think that's a thing. And then you have Troy Daniels, who's a +3. But everybody else, -11 for PJ Dozier, -5 for Jeremy Grant, -5 for Mason Plumlee, -5 for Monte, -7 for Nicola, -18 for Toria, -11 for MBJ, and a -16 Plumlee. So this has just been an all-around bad game for the Nuggets. I mean, it was sloppy. They had a chance going into halftime to go up 7+, and then you give up 2 threes. You give up an and 1 and a 3, and then you only go into halftime up 1, and then coming out of halftime, you just have not been right. I mean, the Nuggets were outscored 38-22 in that quarter. You have 25 fouls on the night. And we can't really use that as an excuse because, I mean, the Heat have fouled you 22 times, you know? So it's just, they've also made 27 free throws. You've only made 15. You're shooting 6 of 24 from 3. The Heat are 9 of 22. I mean, you've made the same amount of field goals total. So it's really just, I mean, turnovers, fouls at bad times. I mean, what are 15 turnovers to 9 turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I kind of expected this when saw the 3 guys that were out, but gotta think if Jamal is playing this game, maybe it's a bit different. I think they really miss Jamal, especially with how poorly Monte and PJ Dozier have played. I mean, obviously it's their first game, so it's just this one's a tough one for them.
Yeah.
And I guess the concerning part is, look, it's their first, expected to be sloppy. Obviously they have 3 starters out. Their two guards haven't, it's for their first game, MPJ's second game. So there's all of those excuses, but at the same time, it makes me nervous because you don't want to fall out of that 3 spot. And so now you're hoping that Utah starts to lose. And same with, some of the other teams right behind you. But Utah only being a game behind them. They play the Thunder today, who the Thunder are 2.5 games behind you. So I guess you're rooting for the Thunder at this point. It's just, you didn't want to have to get to that point already to where now you're concerned about seeding, and having to play the Lakers in the second round. I mean, maybe that's the team you want to play, though. Who knows? But
Yeah.
that's the concerning part.
But you're not really at full strength just yet. So how challenging
And it looks like Bol Bol is back out on the court for the Nuggets. So, I mean, and this is the line we talked about. I mean, Troy Daniels, MPJ, Bol Bol, 3 guys that you have right now that can give you a spark.
That's a good closeout. There's Troy
And it's
Daniels
discipline.
there.
He's not flying by Andre Iguodala. If he hits the shot, he hits the shot over me, but I'm there. So now Iguodala can't get away with the pump fake. He's going to have to try and really get by you to drive past you, or he's going to have to take a tough shot, or he's going to have to pass it off, and then your defense is reset. So you're fine there. There's no need to ever fly by. Now we're going to get a offense foul. Goodness gracious.
Last year's Game 7 loss, an opportunity. And Portland obviously going on and then losing to the Golden State Warriors.
There just really hasn't been any rhythm in this game for the Nuggets. They haven't found a rhythm at all. Offensively, defensively, the whistles haven't helped. But, I mean,
There you go.
Miami has found some rhythm.
Oh, nice pass.
Wow.
Wow. That's your 7'2" center.
Yeah. And it's a bounce pass, too. You didn't thread that through chest pass.
Look at Olynyk. He's like, oh god, that's a tough shot.
Shot.
That's a tough shot. When Bol Bol is right there, that's worrying about him blocking your shot and just having to arc that up a little bit more. That's a horrible pass. Jeez, Plumlee. Oh, that was a travel. Dude took like
And see,
4
that's-
steps.
That's the stuff I don't like. I mean, we're getting into Plumlee, but the rest of the 4 players are on the left side of the floor. So you're forcing a not so good ISO player on the block to either go ISO, or now he has to make a tough pass because nobody's moving, and he forces a tough pass, and that's an easy steal. I mean, they just have to play smarter. It's just decision, and then you get beat on defense.
Plumlee's just getting lost. Plumlee might have to come out.
Mike Malone calls timeout. 7-2 second rounders throwing half court,
That was a beautiful pass.
skidding bounce passes. Oh my goodness.
I mean, at this point, Bol Bol seems like he's playing the best out of everyone, which is crazy to think, but maybe he should finish this game.
I think the only way the starters get back in is if you go on a 7-0 run and you get this within 10. But if I'm Malone, we chalk this one up as the L today, and we roll with the Bol Bol MPJ train and swap out PJ Dozier, Monte Morris. Maybe we get Tyler Cook and Vonleh and those guys in, Troy Daniels. But other than that, we have to remember, and I just tweeted this out too. I mean, 3 things to remember from this game today for Nuggets fans. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. But 1, again, the Nuggets are down 3 starters, 2 of which are offensive creators in Barton and Jamal Murray. So that's obviously going to hurt you right there. And then 2, I mean, this is the first game of the restart, where we're actually in full game mode, taking it seriously. So there's bound to be rust. And when you don't have your starters out there, now you're acclimating to bench guys who usually don't play that role, who aren't as, much of a threat or as dangerous as your starters. This was bound to happen, to a certain extent. Now you can control your effort on defense. You can control not fouling, at least to an extent. You can control to an extent the turnovers as well, and the Nuggets just haven't done well there.
Yeah.
So they have legitimate excuses, but they also, they've played bad. It's both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah. It's just their rhythm. Offensively, if you can get, and we saw them get into a rhythm a couple times, and they got up 7 or 8 points at one point, right? So, and that's when their offense was really just moving well. And again, that helps their defense. If they can get their offense moving and they're hitting shots, and not just hitting tough shots, but getting easy looks. That's what they were getting in that run that they had earlier, and it helps their team defensively. If they can just do that, they'd be fine. But again, these lineups where you have Mason Plumlee, Torrey Craig, Jeremy Grant, Monte, it's just there's not enough offense. There's no offense out there. So Malone's got to do a better job of also balancing out defense with offense. And I get their defense isn't playing well, so he's going to put in more defense. But that's not necessarily how it's been working. When their offense is going, your defense has been better. And I don't know. That's also the frustrating part is I get your defense hasn't been good, but putting more defensive guys with no offensive game doesn't help.
And MPJ has taken a lot of threes today.
Yeah.
At a certain point, and maybe this comes with time, you just got to get to the basket. Put your head down and get to the basket after a certain point. Mouse in the house.
Yeah, Miami looks like they've been playing longer together. Really, that's what it's kind of come down to.
Making sure that their presence is felt offensively and defensively. We talked about Jimmy Butler, the nose for the ball, as you said, aptly, Jeff. He's such a smart player.
And it's not like you're going to get teams where they're in the bottom of the league. Most of these teams are in playoff contention. And even some of the teams that aren't are looking good. Portland's looking really good. Memphis is looking good. New Orleans is a solid team. So it's not going to get easier. This is a solid team in Miami, and they were, I believe, the 4th seed maybe in the East. So it's not going to get any easier. This is the competition that you're going to be going up against from here on out. And teams are only going to get better. It's not like Miami is all together, with fluidity and just that was a good defense possession by Denver though.
Well, they got lucky because Bol
rotations.
left his feet on Olynyk, which why?
Right.
Why are you leaving your feet? You just put your hand up. You probably make that shot tougher. Again, this is stuff these players have to think about.
Yeah.
And I get it's in the heat of the moment. You're not really thinking about that stuff, but just be smart. If he hits a tough shot over you, he hits a tough shot over you. But jumping just doesn't make sense to me all the time.
And they know what you're doing. They know all they have to do is pump fake, and you're going to go up for it.
Yeah, you're going to fly by. Honestly, I would be surprised if that's not in a scouting report of an opposing team every day when they play the Nuggets. If you give these guys a pump fake, they're going to fly by you, and you're either going to get an open shot or you can step in and take that shot. The Nuggets only hurt themselves when they do that stuff. And this will be the final run for the Nuggets here as Malone puts the starters back in. But
yeah, you get one chance to make it, to get a run going. If you can get this game to single digits by the 5-minute mark, maybe even the 6-minute mark.
Yeah.
You got a chance here. Got to rebound the ball.
Down 16 right now, 103-87.
And you got to score pretty much every time down now. You got to be aggressive. That should have been a foul. That's ridiculous. Look up.
Oh,
That's an off. Man, the whistle is not going Denver's way.
no, they're just not getting it today. I mean, he's there, but he's also kind of leaning forward in that too, though. You know, I don't. That's a tough call.
Yeah, that's. Porter did the right thing to pull up there. It's just he leaned forward a little bit too much, I guess. I don't know.
I think Malone's about to take out MPJ here. Yep. For Jeremy Grant, which I don't get, but you know that's.
He's going defense.
I mean, you're losing shooting, you're losing.
And like I said
playmaking
earlier,
there, and-
Jeremy Grant's been, I think, the worst player out there for the Nuggets today.
I mean, he and Mason have not played well at all.
It's gonna have to be Paul Millsap and Jokic to bring this thing home. That's frustrating that Porter's out, and maybe Porter just needs a couple minutes, and he'll come back in. I don't know, but that's not a good substitution. Why is this bed over here and upside down? Look at this. What are you doing?
He's like, well, since the last time you've checked on me, a lot has changed.
Why? Huh? Alright, he's just gonna chill on the blankets. That's fine. I mean, you got 5 guys in double figures, but Paul Millsap is almost there. Nikola Jokic just hasn't gotten enough help. I mean,
Yeah, that's the theme. It's the recurring theme.
he has 3 turns. Jeremy Grant, who's a -3, he doesn't have the lowest plus minus, but 11 points, just 1 rebound, 1 assist, 4 of 11 shooting, 0 for 3 from 3, 3 turnovers, 3 fouls. That's not good.
You know, I saw a tweet from Matt Moore earlier as well too that, the Nuggets are in kind of a weird spot right now because, the guys that have been there were veterans with miles on them, and now they're kind of tired from overwork because no one else was there to practice or scrimmage, and now the guys that are late, didn't play basketball for 3 weeks while they were in quarantine, so. I mean, this might be a rough 8-game stretch for the Nuggets. I mean, at this point, we might see them kind of dip. And
Yeah.
I know you don't want to hear that, but I mean, just given the actual reality of the situation, I mean, if these guys can't get on the court soon and figure out their chemistry, I mean, we might be lucky if the Nuggets get 3 or 4 wins out of this. Considering the teams that they're going to play, because if they play like this, they sure as hell ain't beating the Lakers or the Clippers.
Right.
Or Dallas, for that matter, because I think they have Dallas, and do they have Houston as well? One more time.
Yeah, I don't know their schedule, but I think the main guy you need back is Jamal. If you can get Jamal back, and maybe Will, because I think right now you just need offense, right? So if you can get Jamal and Will back, I think you'll be fine. Which I think those 2 guys will be back. I think Jamal will play in game 2. I think we can expect Will back maybe game 3 or 4, and maybe Gary towards the end.
All right, we got about 7 minutes left. 103-89 is the score. Miami up 14.
You
on
have
the
to go
court
on
for
a
the
run here.
Nuggets. Yeah,
All 3 guys
Man.
jump.
gracious. Stay on your feet, guys. Bam Adebayo to the line on the court for the Nuggets. Monte Morris, Nikola Jokic, Jeremy Grant, Paul Millsap, and Torrey Craig, I believe.
I'm not sure if she did or not, but I think so. No, you know. You know she did. You know who our partner was on that? Jay. You know, like when they used to come to NBA playoff games, like they were dominating my time too often, coming over and
And I get Malone wants to play defense, and like that's his thing. That's his philosophy, you know. But this team has more offensive ability than it does defensive ability.
Yeah.
So maybe at a certain point, it's time to kind of cater to what you are and what you have, and play to the strength of those players. You know, and that might include lineups where that's almost an air ball, where it's, you know, MPJ, Bull, and Jokic rather than Torrey Craig, Jeremy Grant. You know, and trying to cater to that defensive side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I get you want to push the defense, but I mean, you have such a young team. But when it comes down to it, though, if you're not playing defense, you're not going to beat anyone either. So this offense is just awful, though. I really think, though, that the offense does get much better with Jamal in there.
Oh my goodness.
you give yourself no chance to win if you turn it over and foul like they did.
I mean, it has no choice to get better, you know? I mean, it has to.
Just eliminate your chances. So tonight, 18 turnovers, 33 points.
I don't understand why
31 times, and this is going
MPJ and Bull are not in this game. You know, nothing you're doing right now is working. I get you want to play defense, but your defense isn't helping you out right now either, you know?
Yeah, defense has been bad, even with your defensive guys out there. And this is where questions are gonna start to come up with Malone, unfortunately, and that's just the reality of it. You know, you can't just force something that's not there.
Yeah.
With all of this young talent sitting on the bench. It's the first good play that Jeremy Grant has made today.
We said this last night. We said it during some of the scrimmages. And, you know, sometimes you don't realize how important, how wonderful the fans are until they're gone. The league has done a tremendous job, as you see Grant.
That's a good drive.
Of setting this up
You know,
and
I think he could have gotten that all game. Same with MPJ though, too, as well. You know, I mean, he settled for a lot of jumpers and a lot of three-pointers.
we're midway through the fourth. Wasn't that a slogan? Nothing like the real thing? Wasn't that a soda? It's a song, man. And it's a slogan. You're right. Oh, Duncan Robinson, nice little fake lays it.
Again, get a quicker guard on Torrey Grant, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you put your all-defensive lineup out there. Now Torrey is forced to play against, you know, guard against the 1 and 2s. This is driving me nuts.
Not a good showing for the Denver Nuggets today.
It doesn't matter if you're not scoring, you can't come back. It's that simple. If there's no offense out there and you can't score, how the hell are you going to come back in this game?
Yeah.
Worry about the offense first. Get the offense going and worry about the defense after.
Heat shooting 40% from 3 today. So that doesn't also help matters. And a lot of those, honestly, have been open shots.
Another open
Oh,
three.
goodness.
Your defensive lineup is working fantastic, Malone.
He's capable of getting so red hot from outside. And a foul will go against Miami.
Tory makes that.
4:35 to play.
He gets fouled, but it's not going to count.
This is what he brings to the table, the ability to play that
I mean, these are tough shots by Olynyk, though.
get to the three-point line and
Paul's there closing out, and he's just knocking these down.
he's never been a full-time starter in his career. Occasionally here and there, but he's always been a good, versatile bench player.
Probably some defensive limitations have prevented that, but off the bench, as you mentioned, Mike,
Contrast that with the Nuggets shooting 7 of 32 from the three today. And Olynyk hit another three. That's 3 threes from Kelly Olynyk. The Nuggets never cease to win. Only this type of stuff can happen to the Denver Nuggets.
Allow a guy to get it going, there's a price to pay. Feeling like it doesn't matter. Everything falling for Olynyk.
Head and shoulder stops flakes for 72 hours. That's enough time to log roll for days. And receive praise for your log rolling ways. Which turns
Well,
into a log
that's likely going to seal it for the Denver Nuggets today, down
you do is up to you.
117 to 95. 22 points, 4 minutes left. So it's doesn't look like they're going to come back from that today. I mean, it's hard to take any positives away from this game today. I think the only one positive that we can take is, a few positives we've seen. Again, we saw some nice stuff from Bol in limited action. A nice start to the break with the pass. He got on the board with a nice layup, and he affected some shots out there. Obviously, Nikola looks decent, 19, 7, and 6, stealing a block. But other than that, I mean, there's not much you can take from this game. Paul Millsap didn't play well, 3 of 9. MPJ didn't play well, 4 of 10, 2 of 7 from 3. Torrey Craig, I mean, he shot well from the field, 4 of 7, but he's 2 of 5 from 3, and he's taking some tough shots. Monte Morris, not one of his best games, that's for sure. I mean, this is a guy that's praised for not turning the ball over, and he had 3 turnovers today. So then you go down the line, 19 points for Grant, 7 points for Plumlee, 2 points for Bull, 6 for Dozier, Daniels. I mean, it was just a bad.
Oh, look, MPJ's in the game.
With 4 minutes left. Probably could have used him earlier.
Yeah, nice move by Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's got it going here in the last couple minutes.
And that's because he's being aggressive.
Yeah.
He's attacking at
Yeah.
this point,
his level of improvement, and that's what you don't know.
which you don't have anything to lose at this point. Why not be aggressive? I mean, your shots are not falling. Why not try and make something happen at the basket? And these, oh goodness, these
What is
whistles
that?
are
File
just-
5 on Monte?
That is, yeah, I believe it'll be number 5.
Thunder with their first game in the bubble against the Utah Jazz. Jazz had a victory against the
This was a rough outing for Monte. I mean, 13 points. He's a minus 10. 4 fouls, 3 turnovers. Shot 3 of 7 and 0 of 2 from the 3. Yikes. This might be his worst game that I've seen.
Yeah, and again, it's only his first game. He hasn't played any 5-on-5. When does that, though, not become an excuse?
What?
Just not playing together that much.
Well, I think once we get about, I mean, it's hard to say because until the Nuggets can have their full starters out there, I mean, that excuse is valid. I mean, even then, they're still going to have to, like we've talked about, they're still going to have to get over that acclimation of playing with each other again. And now you're adding, new pieces like a Bull and trying to figure out how Troy Daniels and those guys fit into the lineup. And all that type of stuff. And Kelly Olynyk is just taking it to the Nuggets right now, which is something I never thought I'd say before. But, I mean, listen, they have 8 games. Get right. you know, there's no excuses. Once we get past these 8 games, I mean, once the playoffs come, this team has the talent. It's there. It's just they just got to figure it out. There's no excuses, and this is why I'm not willing to give them a pass because everybody else is going through this as well. You know, some teams are even missing key guys like the Lakers. You know, so they're finding ways to get it done, and you know maybe a lot of that comes down to Nikola as MPJ takes another contested three. You know, maybe he's just got to be better. He's got to take more of the load. Jamal has to be better, you know, when he gets out there. So it's a weird situation, but everybody's playing on an equal playing field. So
Yeah, I think Jamal is gonna have to be great for this team to get to where they want to be. Even just to the second round, he's gonna have to be great because from tonight to Monday night, or from today to Monday night, there needs to be a massive improvement with the offensive, just the offensive side of the ball. Like, at this point, I don't care about the defense. The offense needs to be more fluid. The offense there needs to be more movement. There needs to be less turnovers like that. There needs to be just guys being more aggressive, as Malone's going to take another pointless timeout. That's the thing that's gotta improve, is the offense. The defense will come when the offense is going. And I know exactly what Malone's going to say in the postgame. He's going to say, well, the defense needs to be better in order for the offense to be good. No, that's not how this team works. And that's, you know, Malone's going to say the same crap that we've been hearing for the last 2 years. And while I get it, the offense, there needs to be, you can't just put, you know, you want to talk about turnovers, you want to talk about being aggressive, you want to talk about all that stuff, but you're out there putting out, you're putting out Torrey Craig, you know, Monte, who struggled, Jeremy Grant, who struggled for most of the game, Mason Plumlee, who has no offensive game, with Paul Millsap and Nikola Jokic. What do you expect? What do you expect from that lineup? That's not a lineup that's going to go out there and be aggressive offensively and score. And if they're not doing that, they're not going to be able to be effective defensively if they're not scoring. If they have no offensive ability out there other than Nikola Jokic, and you're relying on guys just cutting to the rim. Guess what? That's guardable. So you got to put out guys that have more offensive ability, that can create their own shot. Now, unfortunately, you're missing two of those guys in Jamal and Will, but you know, taking Porter out and replacing it with more defense and offensive liability does not help. You know, keeping Monte out there when he's struggling does not help. I don't know how many minutes Troy Daniels has played, but he probably should have played more. Bol was effective when he was out there, so why didn't he get more run? So I get you're shorthanded, you're missing 3 starters, but at the same time, why are you putting out just one-sided defensive guys? And you're not helping Jokic. As Troy Daniels just hit a tough 3. Why didn't he play more instead of Monte? That's to me, this game, as much as it was frustrating, the guys weren't aggressive and they turned the ball over. This game is just as much on Michael Malone. He needs to realize that this team needs to be better offensively. When they get going offensively, the defense will come. It's not the opposite. How the hell, if you're down by 8 and you can't score, how the hell are you going to come back? It doesn't matter how good your defense is. If your defense is stopping them every time, great. But guess what? You can't score. So how are you going to score those 8 points to come back? You can't.
Right. Yeah. As we wind down the last 40 seconds of the game, Nuggets down 125-102. That's pretty much going to seal it today. And this will drop the Nuggets on the season to 43-23, which they'll still be a game up or a half game, I guess, depending on how it goes, on Utah, who's 42-23. The good news, though, if the Nuggets keep losing and
I think
Utah
Bol
somehow
Bol
keeps
now
winning,
has a double-double. I think he literally just got 10 rebounds in about 5 seconds.
He's got 4 and 5, so. But
That
the
was
good news
3
with
rebounds right there.
Utah
Jeez.
is that the Nuggets they have the season series. You know, they're up 2-0 in the season series. They would only play 3 times this year, so if it came down to it, the Nuggets will have the tiebreaker over Utah, but obviously you don't want it to get to that point, as this game's going to wrap up 125-105. The Nuggets lose by 20 today in their first game. On Monday, they'll be back at it at 2 p.m. versus Oklahoma City, but not a good showing today for the Denver Nuggets. Again, I mean, as poorly as they played, and we can't overlook that. They did play poorly. Turnovers, fouls wasn't there. Part of that could be attributed to the rust, with the guards not just having their step, their pace, whatever the case is. A lot of that too. There's not a lot of options. There's not a lot of bodies available at the guard spot, so those guys are getting played a lot of minutes, except for Troy Daniels for whatever reason. But at the same time too, while all those are true, the Nuggets are still down with 3 starters. First game back. We just have to remember that. But at the end of the day, they're going to have 8 games. And once these 8 games are up, it's playoff time. And there's no excuses at that point. This team is talented. That's why they shouldn't get a pass. Then it's on them to, find a way to get out of the first round. But I think for today, yeah, it sucked. It was a terrible performance. I'm willing to live with what happened today. But if this happens, if we see this again next game and the game after that,
Right.
Okay, now I'm getting concerned. Today, I'm just going to chalk it up to, you know what? It was a bad first start. You were down bodies. It is what it is. But if we get in game 2, game 3, and we're seeing that same stuff, that's a different story.
Especially when guys like Jamal and Will are back. Gary's probably going to be out a little bit longer, but especially when Jamal gets back, a lot of this should be better. And if it's not, there's a big issue.
Right. I agree. But that's going to do it for us today. We thank you guys for tuning in, all those that stopped by. This has been a special edition of Live Reacts on the Behind the Glass Sports Podcast channel. We'll catch you guys on Tuesday for the pod. Woof, that was